Here we go, everybody. Ben Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Happy Thursday to you. Not the way we wanted to kick off the program this morning, but alas, welcome to baseball season and the ups and downs. And as we always say, enjoy the ride. I'd like to get off that ride in New York. I didn't like that ride very much. It was a great game last night. We will talk about it. We will break it down. We've got some actually strategic conversations that we wanted to have. I don't understand the reasoning behind some things. I think I do understand the reasoning behind some other things, but Padres fall to the Yankees in a heartbreaker last night. But again, it is May 8th. Still, think about it. In 2 months from now, it'll be July 8th, and they'll have so many more games under their belt. And where will this team be? Man,
they'll still only be halfway through the season.
Oh my God. Point. I know. Last night felt like such a playoff game. It really did. The atmosphere was cranking in New York. The guys were playing hard. It was an electric atmosphere. And you came up short and you lost 2 or 3 to the best team in the AL. But we got plenty of time. Actually, we have a ton of time today. We've got the roundtable coming up after the show. Those losses on a Wednesday always suck the most because you're like, man, not only did we lose, we lost the series. We have the roundtable. We have an extra hour to talk about it and have it fester. And then you have an off day tonight. So it's like, I'm stabbing myself with a pencil. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer of the program. I want to get to Paulie in a second. Paulie's had the week from hell. And we'll talk about that in a moment. Ben Higgins pretty much lives the week from hell every week. The man works incessantly. He's here as well. He's got his new belt on. That's not the new belt.
No, I bought a new belt yesterday.
Old belt.
This is also a new belt that I should have just worn yesterday and forgot.
Do you like new belt or old belts?
New belt is good. New belt is good.
No, we just looked it up real quick.
Yeah.
I believe the Padres are 5-2 on Wednesdays this year.
5-2.
Yeah,
okay.
they've been good on getaway days. Happy flights. This was not a happy flight from New York to Denver last night.
That's what they say. Happy flight, happy wife. That's not the saying.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Right.
How's that going? Because we've got the annual conundrum in my house. Well, the internal annual conundrum. Hey, babe, Mother's Day is on Sunday, big day. What would you like? Oh, very coy, right? Very coy. Flowers, cards, and just to spend time with you guys. And I look at her and my eyes pierce through her. And in my internal monologue says, you're lying. You're lying through your teeth. And I'm looking at her trying to take from her brain, what does she really want? What does she want me to know to get her on Mother's Day? And what am I missing?
She wants what every mother wants.
What?
A month off.
That I can't do.
I know.
That I can't do. But this happens every year.
And neither can she.
No.
And neither can
she.
No
one can.
Yeah.
But that's really, I think, what everyone wants. Just that respite from being a parent for just a little while.
Well, see, now I don't agree with that.
You don't think so?
Well, I think everybody's different, obviously. But with Hannah, I remember when I got in trouble not too long ago when she was not feeling well. And I said, go back to the room. In fact, why don't you go to a hotel? I'll take the kids. You go to the hotel, sleep, take a hot bath, watch your iPad, relax. I'll take the kids. I do not want to be banished. Do not banish me from the house. I go, but you're sick. Don't you want some time to yourself? So I don't even know, Ben, if I said, hey, babe, I got you 30 days off. She would go, you're not banishing me. I'm not going to make your life easier because I'm not here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do that. I don't want 30 days off from my family.
Me? I'm banning you.
Yeah, you're banning me. I'm banning you.
You can't ban me.
So I'm in this thing of which I get into every year, and I'm looking at her going, what do you really want? Gift wise, right? Because look, Father's Day comes around. She's already got my Father's Day gifts. She already has my birthday gifts done. My birthday's in July. And I'm looking at her going, a candle? I definitely, I will get her what she's asked for. I feel like once I get her what she's asked for, she's going to go, oh, I guess this is it.
That's it.
Right. And so I'm sitting here going, oh boy, here we go again. So I'm going to go I'm going to go poke around, see what I can find. I just don't know. I don't know the answer to that question.
There's nothing worse than the aimless walking around of the mall trying to find a gift, because that is hopeless. There's 100 stores,
just like
millions of items, and you think
spinning around.
You think like some sort of inspiration is going to.
Sir, can I help you with anything?
You start.
I don't really know what I'm looking for.
You go into the store and you actually start thumbing through clothes. Would she like this? What am I doing in here? Do I know her size? I don't even know her size. Why am I in here right now?
This is a different cut. Does that mean it's a different size?
I'm telling you. I am freaking telling you, dude.
Women's cut. Some shirts are unisex.
You bring one home and she's like,
oh, you think I'm a fat whale?
You think I'm a medium. Interesting. You're like, I had no idea. This cut makes me look big. I had no idea. I think you're so beautiful. Oh man. All right. Hannah says to show them how to think.
Take the kids with you, you idiot, is what she said earlier. To show them how to think about their mother.
Oh, she wants you to take them shopping
to go
for
pick out
her.
A gift.
Because that time will be spent thinking about her and appreciating her.
Okay. All right. I think I understand that now. All right. Oh boy.
That's a good move, actually. You take Bo and
look
Taylor.
Look what Taylor picked out for you.
Right.
Big giant moo-moo.
What's she gonna do?
He did it. He picked it. What are you talking about? Caitlin says I'm clueless. No, I'm not clueless. Here's what I am. I am by the book. If she told me I want a new dishwasher, I want a new ladder, I want a new pair of pants, I would say I will get you exactly what you want. Caitlin, you're asking me to look in somebody's eyes, pick up their brain waves and go, what does she really want? And that is the tough part.
I'm
not clueless.
I think every mother does love it when their kids like hand make them cards with the crayons. But like my kids would do it. I'd have them do it when they were younger, and they'd scribble for like 4 seconds, something on there. Just
looks like Picasso is on mushrooms. And then here's the mom. She gets it. She goes, oh, great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Caitlin says she's your wife. Look, dude, I know this.
You think that means anything?
Caitlin,
we don't know how to read women.
No, Caitlin, I've been with her for over a decade. Do you know how many things I've gotten her that she's opened and looked at and went, no, this sucks. I'm taking it back. She returns my gifts. We are a, what's the word I'm looking for, Ben? Like we are I want to say like fun. It's fundamentally, if I want this, I will ask for it and I will get it. So direct.
Yeah.
Like, God, there's a word that's escaping me right now that it really sums it up, but it's like, let's take the guessing out of it, right? If you need a new pair of running shoes, I got you. I know what size your shoes are. I will go get them for you. But she doesn't. She looks at me with this coy smile and says, just flowers in a card. Just flowers in a card is all I want. And I know inside that's not all she wants. I know that.
Well, I think everyone would want flowers in a card are great. But if there was that one little extra, something unexpected that she doesn't even know that she wants. But that's the hardest part.
What in the F is that?
The best gifts are when you get someone something that they didn't even realize they knew they wanted, and then they love it.
Well, again,
but that is so hard.
That's the hard part. Because, again, I try that. And Hannah then will say, why did you do this? I don't like surprises. You know that. Just ask me what I want next time. And I go, but I did. And you said you only wanted flowers and cards. I got you flowers and cards. And now you're looking down your nose at me like I didn't do enough. This is a real thing in my house. It's a real thing in my house. Squirrely at 24. Woodsy, if she says she's thirsty, don't bring her a glass of eco water. Just empathize. That's what she wants. But if I say I'm thirsty, I want a glass of water. No. I want you to empathize with me. I, too, know what it feels like to be thirsty. All right. She's saying in the chat, it's written down, I don't want a gift.
Say, you got to apply some pressure, put her on the air. Hannah, 833-288-0973. And let everybody know that you don't want anything.
Yeah, I'd like to have that actually in verbal conversation for the lawyers later, if it gets to that point. So I'll be thinking about that for the next 72. But I want to talk about our beloved Paulie, who has had such a gnarly week. I didn't know this the other day, but we were texting him before. It was Tuesday, and we said, hey, what's majors coming in tomorrow, which was yesterday. Is there anything else we need? Did you hear back from so-and-so? Paulie's like, I've literally been at the vet for like 7 hours. You were at the vet with your dog Daphne for 7 hours.
It was like 4 hours there. Then we left, went home for a couple of hours, had to go back
to get her
up.
Those are never fun days.
No, she's had some blood issues over the last couple of years that we've managed, and she's been fine. She was actually doing really, really well. And then she got into some trash or something. She ate something she was not supposed to.
And imagine every time we ate something we weren't supposed to, we had to go to the vet.
Yeah.
Or the doctor.
Right. Like you're like, it's life or death.
No, it's through the trash again.
Yeah, you eat a donut and it's a life or death situation.
Might as well be.
And so yeah, that was not fun. The tell all with Daphne is food. If she ever rejects food, I'm like, oh, it's time to put her down.
Yeah.
Like she is a psychopath with food. And
well,
so
imagine if you had to put your kids down every time they rejected food. I would have 0 kids. 0 kids. Like, well, all right. They couldn't eat. They didn't eat. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. So on Tuesday, after several hours of her not looking well, not feeling well, and we tried to give her some food and she turned it away and was like disgusted by it. I go, yeah, it's time to go to the vet.
Yeah.
And so that was a long, expensive.
Oh yeah.
Expensive day.
She's
doing much better. But then that led to what happened yesterday, because you can't have just one bad day in a row.
I just don't know that the vet can fix that. My dog eats things she's not supposed to. And then you could tell she's got a stomach ache and she won't eat her food.
Yeah.
And I just say, well, you deserved it. You ate what you ate, and eventually
you wanted it.
Eventually she will go outside and barf it all up, and then she'll feel much better. And that's just how it always progresses. And it's like, okay, fine. You know what? You ate it. You got into the trash. You ate the big foil wrapped whatever, and now it's got to all come out some way, one way or the other. And I'll have to clean it up eventually, but you're gonna have to suffer until it's out. That was your fault.
Yeah,
Ben is an elite pet owner. Elite pet owner. You deserve
animals, as you can tell.
You deserve it. He sees a squirrel that gets run over. Yeah, you deserve it. You were running in the street.
Don't run in front of the car.
You know how that doesn't happen to? Guy that doesn't run in the street. Amazing. So you had to go. Yeah, that's all. So it's all done. She's okay.
Yeah, she had pancreatitis, which is just an inflammation of the pancreas.
Standard.
They gave her some fluid. She's feeling better. She'll be fine.
So this is the one that got me, though, because this kind of crap happens to me all the time, and probably for good reason, more than Paulie. And I want the tier one's help on this,
bro,
because we are kind of kicking around. How does this stuff happen?
It's the 8th inning of the game. I'm in bed. I'm finishing work on the iPad. I'm ready to shut this mother down. Didn't know that the Padres are about to lose in a walk-off fashion. And I get a call from my bank. Now, I didn't recognize the call, so I let it go to voicemail. Looked like spam. Read the voicemail. This is Mission Fred fraud detection, and we need you to call us immediately. Okay. Give them a call. I find out that my card had been charged 5 times for various amounts between $100 and $250 a pop.
Yeah, keep it like kind of nice and low where you may not notice.
Yeah, you don't go for like the $1,000 purchase.
Right.
You got to see what works. So it was about $600 worth of charges to my account. And they said, was this you? And I go, I have no idea. They were all labeled on my statement on the app as the exact same thing for different prices. And I go, I have no idea what that is. It said Pilot.
Pilot is a gas station. Yeah, like those big truck stop. Yeah,
I've never seen one because they don't have them around here.
Yeah.
She goes, there were all these gas stations in Weed, California.
Weed, California. Well, I think I know.
I wish I was making this up.
I think I know who our number one suspect is.
Oh.
If it's in Weed, California, it can only be one person.
Loose cannabis?
There he is. What did you do, you SOB?
Loose cannabis, California?
Ganja, a.k.a. cannabis.
Ganja, California.
Did you get into his wallet and drive up to Weed, California on some sort of weird perverted trip or something?
Get a bunch of munchy snacks.
It's the doorway to Mount Shasta, everybody. I mean, what beautiful country up there at the top of the state.
So I don't know. They don't know how this happened. Obviously, nobody. I still have my card. Well, I broke it down, cut it up yesterday because I got to get a new card today. And they don't know what happened. They're like, "Did you give your card to anybody?" I'm like, "No, of course not." So I was hacked. It was something cyber.
So it was all the same Pilot gas station.
It was,
right?
what happens, and this happened to me many years ago. I had like hundreds of dollars of charges at a Walmart in Louisiana, and they called and said, "Spliff a bus at enemy hit." And there's a lot of ways it can happen. They have the skimmers on the, like the gas station readers where they steal your information when you're just paying for gas somewhere and you don't know it. And then they sell it to someone else, you know. And,
so they'll take all the numbers. Some slickster puts it on a fake, makes a fake debit card with it. Then somebody goes into weed.
Yep.
Gets gas, gets some groceries.
That's what I thought happened. I'm like, did they make like a dummy card?
Yeah.
Because I was asking my wife, I'm like, literally, like, how does this work? How does this happen? Okay, you hack into my account, whether, I don't know, your credit card, your debit card, your bank account, they're attached to so many electronic payments now. It's impossible to know where it came from. Was it Venmo? Was it?
And there are black market devices where they create a card. Now, it won't look like a real card, I don't think, but there's so many places where you don't show it to anyone. Just self-checkouts.
Everybody must get
whether it's at a gas station or, you know, even at places now, you just type into a screen and then do your card yourself. And if it, you know, the numbers are right, it'll charge.
But if I, you know, have so much loose cannabis that I got to go to Pilot gas station to buy $125 worth of snacks, you can't walk in and just be like, can you manually enter this card number? Yeah, it's 4742. You know, that's not how it works.
No,
you have to have
not.
an actual card.
Correct.
So I'm like, how? But it wasn't worth trying to figure it out. It had already happened. Had to file the claim and get the money back in like 2 weeks. And then now I get to go to a branch after the show.
Yep.
After the round table.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the bank.
But none of that's the worst part.
Oh, this is the worst part, is getting the
worst
new card.
Part by far is this part.
And I tried to like justify it in my head. I was like, my card expired at the end of the year anyways. I was going to have to do this, but at least you have a little bit of heads up. You have to go and change your online digital payment for literally everything. Amazon Prime, Netflix, DoorDash, like anything you have ever used. Your Apple Wallet, you got to update it all. And I'm like, that's just going to be the worst.
That's the worst part. You know what I do now? I just wait until something gets kicked back. Then I update it. I can't sit and go through and like, okay, what else do I have?
I'll probably sit down and knock out a few of the first ones that come to mind. And then the rest are going to be like, hey, this charge didn't go through.
So I didn't know this. Adam says that's why they tell you to tap instead of swipe. I have no idea.
The chips are safer because they can't get skimmed by those devices.
My chip was like not great over the last 6 to 12 months where it would work sometimes, but most of the times they tap, it's not working. You want to try it again? It's still not working. And then you insert it and then it works.
Yeah. Man, I'm sorry. It's such a beating, dude. Just one of those weeks, man, which means there's nowhere to go but up, Paulie. Nowhere to go but up.
I sure hope so.
And I think we could say the same about the San Diego Padres. Nowhere to go but up.
We will get into it. We will set the menu for the program. Got a couple of guests for you today. We'll tell you all about it. Of course, it is also a Roundtable Thursday. So we are here until
Ganja,
aka 11 a.m. Yeah, we might need a little to get through the next 4 hours and 40 minutes here. It's Ben, and I like a blunt or a big fat bowl.
Please no.
We know who the first suspect is.
Yeah, Ben and Woods and Paul. Kelly's got traffic. I'm not a drug dealer.
That's right. You're a credit card thief.
No, the only thing I'm pushing on you is Prize Picks right now.
Creep.
I'm pushing Prize Picks. I do enjoy playing a little daily fantasy, and I feel good at Prize Picks. There are millions of members. It's going to be part of a big club. People are having fun. People are winning real money with daily fantasy sports. All you have to do is pick more or less on between 2 and 6 players. So set a big lineup to win really big. Set a small lineup, better chance of winning. Don't win quite as much. You play the way you want. You run your own game, but you can win up to 2,000 times your cash with Prize Picks. Right now, basketball season, games every night, and of course, baseball season, my favorite, because there are so many games, so many options, whether it's pitcher strikeouts, player hits plus runs plus RBI. You can set your lineups with different teams. Whatever you're watching, put that lineup together and win real money, legal in over 30 states, including here in California. Watch sports, win prizes, win money with Prize Picks. Check out Flex Fridays as well to opt in. You get a little extra chance to win on special days if you look at those lineups. So use the code KWFN when you download. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, $50 instantly with your first $5 lineup with the code KWFN at Prize Picks, Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Welcome back to the San Diego Padres. Sean Reynolds returned to the roster last night. Did not get into the game. Maybe he should have. Will be good to see him back, though. Padres bullpen, it's weird. Obviously, the last 2 days, Woods, have been unlike the rest of the season. They've had leads late. First 2 times all year, they've had a lead after the 7th inning and not won the game.
That's tough. That's tough. It's tough to stomach. It's not something that's sustainable the entire season.
No,
obviously.
But in many ways, the bullpen is only getting stronger now. They're getting guys back. They're getting guys back. Yeah. They're deeper than they were at the start of the year. This is still the best bullpen in all of baseball by ERA. Still by a few runs, even after giving up 10 in game 2 of the series, and then 3 yesterday. Of course, the one of the 10th inning was not an earned run because they got the free runner on second base, but still the best bullpen in baseball, and they gave up a couple of wins that they could have had the last couple of days in New York, which is very frustrating.
It's like any sport, man. You're only as good as your last outing, right? You're only as good as your last game, pretty much. And look, at the end of the season, you look at the totality of what everybody's done. Was it enough to get you to the promised land? They certainly got off to a hot start. I don't get the sense, too, that like they were overused or anything like that. I think they've actually done a really good job being judicious with who pitches and when. It's why you kind of saw, Wandy come in the other night. And again, I thought it lined up well. Again, I don't think there was any major mismanagement. I think the processes this week, Ben, were good. I think execution was poor in some instances, which will absolutely happen throughout the course of 162. I was pretty sulky about this one for about, like Pete Fairbanks, it was about 16 minutes of sulk. And then I got back on the bump, which by the bump, I mean, I got in bed and went to sleep.
Nobody likes it when you lose, you got body 9-1. I don't mind those.
I didn't mind it at all. It's like, hey man, I tipped my cap. You guys had a great inning. Our guys didn't come through. Yesterday was one of those, again, May 8th or May 7th. One of those, it's like just that little dagger right to your heart.
I thought the whole series felt like a playoff series.
It really did.
As much as May can. Even the blowout was a really good game for 7 innings or whatever. Yesterday's game, that's the one that you're like, that stung. That I hate how that game ended.
Sure.
But that was a fun game to watch.
We got some strategy that we want to discuss as well. We're not arguing at all. We're just kind of trying to parse out why teams do the things that they do, or more importantly, why don't teams do some things, right, that maybe they could do. Obviously, the hindsight machine is fired up real good today, as it usually is after a loss. We will be crawling inside the hindsight machine, Ben, and taking a look. And man, it just stunk. It stunk, and we'll give credit where credit is due, certainly. But man, I wanted that one last night. To win that series would have been really special.
Yeah, we'll get into it in our Padres crap up next, which is kind of unfair. I thought the Padres played a good game yesterday. So did the Yankees. And, sometimes you play a good game and you don't win in Major League Baseball. But
I also want to talk about extra innings.
Yes, that's the other thing. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm flip-flopped like the politician that I am.
All right, we will get into that. Paulie's done a lot of work. You may have seen it online yesterday, but John Boy came out with his lip-reading spectacular of Mike Shilt's ejection from Game 1 of the series on Monday. And we've got some highlights edited for your radio consumption coming up in our 7 o'clock hour. At 7:35, Sam Levitt will join us. He was all over the post-game show with the Dylan Cease injury news, what Mike Shildt had to say, what Dylan Cease had to say in the clubhouse. Spoiler alert, fairly good news based on everything that's coming out. A little early, obviously they'll reevaluate Dylan today, but it looks like fairly good news, even though Dylan Cease had to come out of the game there in the 7th inning. So we'll get an update from Sammy Levitt, who was all over it last night. And then it is a Smart Baseball Thursday coming up at 8:35. Eno Sarris from The Athletic will join us to talk baseball around the league and what's going on. And then our regular features. Don't do this. We got a real or fake on a Throwback Thursday, plus the Rindle Report and another Padres ticket giveaway for next week's Padres Angels Throwback Reversible bucket hat night that they're going to have at Petco Park. So you'll have a chance to win some Padres tickets. And then right into the roundtable at 10 o'clock. So a very busy morning here on Ben and Woods. We will get into it with some details of last night's heartbreaking 4-3 10-inning loss to the New York Yankees. That is coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
But trust Ben and I when we tell you that trust and will work for you. And it's easy. It's an easy process. I think everybody listening out there, especially if you have a family, need to make sure you get your trust and or will set up. Do it today. Do it online. Keep it easy for yourself by going to trustandwill.com.
I trust that it will work because it already did work us. Process was very simple.
Super.
Answered some questions online. They kind of go through it very simple, step by step. It's like doing your taxes online, but way easier. And then at the end of the process, you've got legal documents that they will ship to you. And when you use the code FAN at checkout, you're going to get free shipping and 20% off. They're already reasonable prices, which is way less than what you'd pay if you were going to a lawyer and setting these up in an office with billable hours. So keep that in mind. Same peace of mind, though. When you have the documents, you've got the documents, which is why Trust and Will, I think, is so genius.
It's a really brilliant way to handle something like this, something that you really don't want to think about, but you really have to. It's one of those kind of fears that you have to face. So go to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN when you check out for 20% off and free shipping of your estate documents. It's trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I know I'm going to sound a little like Mike Shildt, but there was a lot of good in that game yesterday.
Yeah, there was.
There was a lot of good.
A lot of good, man.
In the game yesterday. I don't want it to get completely lost because we will be focusing on
the negative,
the stuff that led to the loss at the end. And I think there's some interesting discussions, strategic discussions.
Like a bloody beer, Jerry.
But there was a lot of good in the game yesterday, and I want to make sure that we point that out. We'll get to all of it coming up in our Padres crap up after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by City Cruises. Not too bad of a start on our roads. We have one problem here. Looks like the Imperial en route to South 805. Stalled car over to the right shoulder. Set sail with Randy Hauser as he lights up the bay for an exclusive concert cruise like no other. Join us on Friday, May 23rd with City Cruises, live in San Diego for an epic night of country music, dinner, drinks, and skyline views. Get tickets now at citycruises.com/live. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame if they lose.
You got a problem.
Oh, a shame indeed.
I couldn't agree more.
Here are the lowlights from yesterday's game.
What the heck happened?
Are you kidding me?
Can't even believe it.
It's the Padres
Crap up.
presented by Hamul Casino. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort with gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
We'll give it 16 minutes of salt, and then we'll, get back on the pump and figure it out.
1-1, and Goldschmidt grounds it to third base. Manny over towards the line, has it on the backhand. One-footed throw is perfect and in time. Man, oh Manny, 2 down here in the 4th.
If I had a star, it would have been thrown out there.
So 2 outs, nobody on. Jackson Merrill, the batter. He swings at the first pitch, hammers it in the air, deep to right field. Judge is back to watch. This one gonna go into the bullpen in right. And Jackson Merrill's first since coming off the IL, his 4th of the season, well over 400 feet into the bullpen in right center. And the Padres take a 1-0 lead. They got him 0-2. Now Cease will deal, and a swing and a miss. Got him to chase a slider. Running away this time. And Aaron Judge strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. That is a season-high 8 strikeouts for Dylan Cease. Cease will turn and deliver the 0-2 to Bellinger. Swung on, hit in the air, deep to right field. Hernando is back. He will watch. It will go. First hit of the night for the Yankees is a game-tying homer here in the bottom of the 7th inning for Cody Bellinger. Merrill swings, lines it towards the left center field gap. And that's down a base hit. Bellinger's got to play it on a hop. Fernando's going to come in to score as the throw goes into second base. Jackson Merrill strikes again, and the Padres lead it 2-1. First pitch, Xander swings, laces it into center field. Bellinger going to catch it on a line. Tagging at third, Machado on his way. Here's the throw, cut by Goldschmidt, and a sac fly for Xander to extend the lead. It's 3-1. And he hits it in the air this time down the right field line. Fernando is back, and Grisham has done it again. His second home run of the series, and this one ties us 3-3 in the eighth. And Escara swings, hits it in the air towards the left field corner. Long run, Hayward on the move, gets there to make the catch, but that is plenty deep enough. Dominguez will tag and score, and J.C. Escara, at 30 years old in only his 12th Major League game, a walk-off sacrifice fly as the Yankees take their first lead of the night and win it 4-3 in extras.
Like, what's the word on Devin? Just now getting feedback on it. The training staff's not overly concerned, a little bit of cramp. He evaluated, he wanted to keep pitching. First of all, let's start with the fact that he threw the ball fantastic. Legitimate no-hit stuff.
Yeah, Dylan Cease goes 6 2/3 innings, 9 strikeouts, 1 hit, 2 walks in what was by far his best start of the season, but it wasn't enough as the Padres fall to the New York Yankees 4-3. Cease, of course, leaving the game with what they are calling just a cramp in his forearm. You saw him flexing his hand as he came off the field.
Kind of nodding, going forearm cramp. You could kind of read his lips. I saw forearm, and I went back and I saw forearm cramp.
I didn't see cramp the first time, and I go, oh, there goes the season.
Yeah, again, you start squeezing that, and it's like, oh, cool. Those are all your tendons going up your arm into your elbow, and you're done. But he was, as soon as they talked about it on the broadcast too, when they panned to him and he was still sitting there and he's kind of like smiling and guys were coming up and dapping him up, checking on him. He seemed fine.
I felt okay at that moment.
Me too. And he was fantastic, man.
You also, not a doctor, but dehydration can lead to some cramping. He was sweating pretty big last night. You saw they talked on the broadcast about how sopping his uniform was, and it wasn't raining last night. He was just kind of just into it and working up a good lather there. So maybe a dehydration issue that caused a cramp. Let's hope that that's all it is, because if that's the case and Dylan Cease has found, something that gets him locked in for a while, that's a huge win for the San Diego Padres.
No question about it, Manny. Man, we said it yesterday on the show. Go out, have some fun tonight, free and easy. Go let it eat, man. You got the nasty stuff. 99 top of the zone to Judge. I mean, he embarrassed Aaron Judge. He was nasty last night. And those are unequivocally my favorite type of baseball games. 2 stud pitchers with elite stuff going back and forth. Jackson Merrill touching up Zach Fried. And again, I just saw in the chat.
Max Fried.
I'm sorry. What did I say?
Zach Fried.
I have lost my mind.
Zach Fried is.
I've lost my mind. Merrill touching up Max Fried. And then, so they're just trading blows back and forth. Who's better? Somebody just said in the chat too, well, offense didn't have his back. Brother, Max Fried was 6-0 with a 1.01 ERA. He's pretty good too. He's pretty good. He's on Cy Young pace right now. This is 2 guys going back and forth, 2 prize fighters, Benny, trading blows. Who's going to blink? And those are my favorite kind of baseball games. Would have loved that win. We deserved that win. I think we played better than them. But we didn't. It didn't go our way, and I was pissed about it for about 10 minutes. And I went, man, that was a good one. That was a good little tilt last night.
The defense was outstanding. You heard Manny's play there. There was also a couple of nice catches by Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, a lot of good in the game. But of course, it comes down to executing in the clutch. Padres had some chances with runners on base. Man. I mean, the Yankees really had no chances. Their top 4 guys in their lineup, 0 for 16, 5 strikeouts, did not reach base. Padres top 4 in their lineup, 5 for 16, 3 runs scored, 2 RBI, a home run, 3 walks. I mean, you look at that and you're going to say Padres probably won by 8 or 9 in a game like that. But, bottom of the lineup, they had a couple of chances and they came through when they needed to. Cody Bellinger's game-tying home run that broke up the no-hitter. Not a bad pitch. 98 up above the zone, above the zone. and give Cody Bellinger some credit. He turned on it. He's a good big league player.
Also a former Dodger, so you kind of knew that was coming.
Has been doing it for years, not, hitting 215. You didn't expect him to do it, but I don't think Dylan Cease really missed on that pitch. That's your strike. That was his strikeout pitch all day long. 98 up there by the eyes, and Cody got it. So that was the one quote-unquote mistake that Dylan Cease made.
He really was fantastic. I mean, again, no hitter, for what?
Into the seventh.
He was fantastic. Dude.
And then Jackson Merrill comes through again. This kid comes right off the injured list, and 2 straight games.
This is Jackson Merrill.
Delivering again in the clutch, 2 go-ahead hits again. I mean, he is unbelievable, this 22-year-old. Padres take the 3-1 lead, and they've got their best bullpen guys set up. Adam
feels so good.
And Suarez ready to go.
Estrada.
And really, when it comes to the mistake, the one I think we can all agree on, and even Jason Adams said after the game, walking Oswaldo Cabrera
that was it.
To lead off the bottom of the 8th inning.
Kind of felt it at that point when that happened. I went, oh, Jason, you can't, that cannot happen. If Oswaldo, what's his name? Cabrera. If Oswaldo Cabrera gets me, if he gets me, then he gets me. BFD, right?
And he's not even the tying run.
Correct. I still have the lead. And then you get to Trent Grisham. And again, I know that we like to lament former Padres doing damage against us. It's a thing for sure. Let's be honest though. It's probably a thing for a lot of teams in baseball. We're definitely in a vacuum, in a bubble here. So it happens to a lot of teams. When you trade as many pieces away, it's bound to happen to your team more. At least you feel that way. But Benny, I got into a Twitter beef, shocker, with a guy last night by the name of Lou Sassol. Don't say it fast.
Okay.
Lou Sassol. I doubt it's his real name.
Okay.
We went back and forth a little bit, and he said, you can't. Lou Sassol. Say it fast, Paulie. To your not on the mic.
Does it
turn
rhyme
the mic off? Turn the mic off. Yeah. Lou Sassol. And we are going back and forth, and he said you can't throw a hot Trent Grisham, a changeup. And I said, that's his best pitch. Like, that's Jason Adams' best pitch. I'm absolutely fine getting beaten on my best pitch. Now, the location was not great, kind of floated middle in, but he said, well, you got to throw a fastball there to Trent Grisham. And I said, well, Trent Grisham, I looked up his numbers, Ben. All of his home runs have been on fastballs. Every single one. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm not trying to be a know-it-all. What I'm trying to tell you is these guys aren't guessing out there. They're not going by, there's science behind this. There's numbers behind this. There's reasons why they do the things they do. That's all I'm saying in that regard. He has homered on exclusively fastballs this season. Last night, if those numbers are updated after the game, and I think they are, that was the first homer, Ben, on a breaking ball or an off-speed pitch all season. There's a reason that they do it. Now, 4 straight changeups, okay, interesting choice. That being said, he missed his location, but he threw his best pitch.
It was up. I mean, he missed it slightly off the plate inside, which a changeup, usually the damage is foul. They get out in front of it, but Grisham did a great job getting his hands in, keeping that ball fair. So I'm going to give Trent Grisham some credit. I will question the sequencing, at least, in terms of kind of that same changeup inside. Grisham had some looks at it. You could miss with a fastball if you wanted to go off the plate, something a little more outside just to change his eye level. I could argue that. I would not have challenged Trent Grisham with a fastball.
But again,
because he's probably looking. I thought he might be looking for a fastball there.
But again, maybe Trent Grisham at that point, maybe Jason Adams didn't mean for it to leak where it leaked.
No, he wanted it down. He wanted it buried a little bit lower. He definitely missed on the pitch, as, by the way, every pitcher does on several pitches during the game. And oftentimes they get away with a bit of a miss.
And I'll say this again, man. If you beat me with my best pitch, I'm okay. I can live with that. If I throw you my second or my third best pitch and you get me, that's on me. I can always sleep well at night knowing, bro, I threw a changeup. It didn't do what I wanted to, but the changeup's my best pitch. I'm okay. I can live with that, and I think Mike Shildt too. But again, I just want to reiterate, There are reasons why they throw the pitches that they do. They're not like, what do you think here? It's not like Major League. Well, let's see what the kid feels about the old number one. There's a reason behind how they go after guys, and it just didn't work last night. And Trent Grisham got you. And oh man, but again, you still had a chance to win that game. And then you get to the 10th inning. And the 10th inning made my stomach turn. It really did. You've got the ideal situation if you're the San Diego Padres, Ben. You've got Lockridge, fastest guy on the team, standing at second base. You got to get him in. You got to get him over, and you got to get him in. And boy, Tatis, Manny, and Xander didn't come through. Not even close. I mean, three of the worst ABs I think I've seen from those guys concurrently or almost concurrently all season long. Those were not great ABs, particularly Fernando's. Being the leadoff guy in that.
Now, I will disagree with people who say, well, Fernando needs to bunt him over.
No, you do not want him to bunt.
Take the bat out of Fernando Tatis Jr.'s hands.
Not only that, but with this rule of the Ghost Runner, you're the visiting team. You got to play for more than one. And that's what's missing with this Ghost Runner thing. And I think I was in favor of it originally when they first did it, because I said my logic was this. My logic was, if your team is in a pennant race, you don't want a bunch of 13, 14, 15 inning games. It's going to save your bullpen, which is so important, as we've all seen. We all saw how the Dodgers won a World Series last year. How'd they do it? They won it with their bullpen. They had no starting pitching. They won it with their bullpen. My logic, I think, was sound at the time. Now I watch these games, I go, this sucks. This sucks. I don't like this, because it values the home team so much more. So much more.
So, yeah, Fernando strikes out, and then Luis Arraez walks. Manny strikes out. And, Diesel in the chat says that Padres fixed Devin Williams. Devin Williams was throwing good changeups. They were moving. The airbender was moving, but he still couldn't locate the fastball. And I think the frustrating part for me is if you can eliminate one of the two pitches, essentially, he's throwing, I feel like that should give the advantage to the hitter, and the Padres didn't take advantage. Jackson Merrill gets hit. Bases are loaded for Xander Bogaerts. He fights back to a 3-2 count. The 2-2 pitch was a non-competitive fastball way outside. I felt like, okay, I'm channeling it. I'm thinking the changeup is coming, Xander. If it's low, lay off of it. It's going to drop below the zone, and you will force in a run. But he just could not lay off of it. It was a good pitch. Technically, it was a ball. What would the umpire have called? I don't know. It was one of those really close ones, but, they weren't hitting it. So maybe you should have tried to lay off of that pitch from Devin Williams in that situation.
So much easier said than done.
So easy to say.
I mean, He was hitting 95 with that heater. And again, the arm action is the same. The arm action is the same, and that ball goes out of the zone. But really, I mean, some really bad ABs by the guys that you needed to come through. And that's exactly what you want. And guess what? Come Friday night, that same situation, I want those same guys up there.
Yeah.
I want those guys up there.
Manny's red hot. Merrill's red hot. Bogaerts has been really hot this week. They didn't come through. We'll discuss this game more coming up next year on The Fan. So we left you in the 10th inning last night. Padres had just failed to score in the top of the inning with Tatis, Machado, and Bogaerts all striking out. Two things can be true at once. All of those guys failed to come through in that situation. They are all playing quite well this season at the moment. Well, Bogaerts has had a rough start, but
he's had a great week.
He's had a great week. Manny's on fire. He's hitting, an 8-9 game hitting streak, hitting well over 400 during that streak. He's got his average over 300. I mean, Manny is locked in right now. He had 2 for 4 last night with a walk and a run scored. Tatis has actually had the roughest week of all those three guys, but he was picked as the most likely NL MVP earlier this week. So
maybe that was the problem.
I can't really complain. Luis Arraez had a bad series. He did not have a single hit in the series, but he's going to be fine as well. Yep. So I'm not really worried about anyone at the top of the lineup. And Jackson Merrill's now hitting 400 and is amazing. So yeah, they didn't come through in the top of the 10th inning. It puts you in such a bad position when you're on the road. What do you do when you're Jeremiah Estrada, you're Mike Shildt, Ruben Niebla? They've got a runner on second base. They lay down a sacrifice bunt to start the inning to move the runner over to third. Well executed. Nothing the Padres could do about it. Move the runner over to third. You've got one out. So now you've got J.C. Escarra, pinch hitter, coming up in the bottom of the 10th inning with one out. 2 empty bases. But you've got much better hitters behind him in Ben Rice and Aaron Judge, who've been probably the 2 best hitters for the Yankees this season. Do you pitch to him and try to get that second out against a guy who's hitting 172 this year? Or do you give him the free base and have to get 2 guys out who are, much more talented, but you have a chance at a double play?
I think
it's a conundrum.
Ultimately, I think the right decision happened, even though that they lost the game. Because again, you're praying for, again, you think Jeremiah Estrada against Escarra, he's a strikeout pitcher against a guy that's batting 170. Go get that K, and then we hone in on Ben Rice and try to get him out. The playing for a double play, I got a lot of DMs about it. I didn't really have a good answer. It's their strategy. That's what they went with last night. Didn't really work. Guy flipped
kind of a definition of if it works, great. Yeah. And if not, it was the wrong decision.
And again, you don't want to run the risk of getting Ben Rice up there, Ben, with a runner on first and third. Can't make your pitches to him, and then guess who's striding to the plate? And that's, listen, with the crystal ball, everybody's right. And you walk Escarra and you roll Ben Rice over on a chitter, and next thing you know, you're back out there. But you do feel when you're the visiting team and you don't score. I don't know what the percentage of chance of winning a game is. I feel like it's about 6. Really, I look at that and go, it's so defeating when you have a runner on second and nobody out. It's defeating in the third, bro, when you have a runner on second and you don't score. It's defeating anytime.
Yeah.
Guy hits a leadoff double and gets stranded.
The difference is in the third that the game's not over.
Correct.
After the next half.
Correct.
Inning.
And that they don't automatically get a runner on second to start the next inning.
You feel like in extras, if you don't score, you're like, I think we just lost if you're on the road.
100%. And you have to, as the visiting team.
You probably already used your closer, by the way.
Yeah, you got to play for more than one run. You just have to.
A couple of other options. Robert Suarez had only thrown 13 pitches, but you bring him back out. You risk him not being as effective in the second inning. I think Jeremiah Estrada was the right call. I mean, Sean Reynolds is really nasty. If you're really going for a strikeout, you could have brought him out instead and, saved Estrada for a save situation. Because if you're going to win that game, you're going to need to score again and have someone else pitch again. Yep. So you could have gone with Reynolds there. I mean,
game back.
We can second guess a lot of things there. It didn't work out. Ultimately, I'm not going to be too mad that they had Jeremiah Estrada, who was their best remaining pitcher, on the field trying to strike out a guy who was probably the weakest hitter that you were going to face for the next 7 batters in the lineup. Why give that guy a free base when everybody else who's behind him is going to be tougher than him?
And I saw our buddy Tommy pointed it out last night. You saw kind of the wild chitter from Estrada early. You throw a pitch that poorly, you're very reluctant to go back to it again. You have to use a pitch that is effective. Just going heater to this guy, 4 straight heaters to this guy, and he's like, all right, I can slap this out and get a sac fly. Just a rough one last night, to be sure. The walk to Oswaldo Cabrera was the really the death knell for me. And obviously the Trent Grisham bomb very much stung. But yeah, man, it just one of those games. I thought obviously Dylan Cease pitched well enough. I thought Jackson Merrill was a revelation last night, and just a super, super tough one to drop when you had a chance to win your first series Yankee Stadium ever.
You know, it's funny. I am in the process currently of posting our 6 o'clock hour podcast, and I was titling it as Ugly Padres Loss. And then I said, you know, it wasn't an ugly loss. It really wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
It was a good game.
It was a pretty
entertaining
loss,
game with a really crap result.
Crap ending.
And I said I switched ugly to tough Padres.
Tough, yeah.
That was a tough one to swallow, but that's a good team. And it's easier to tip my cap to a good team. It was on the road in that environment.
It was like taking aspirin with no water. Like, hey man, I got a splitting headache. Here's some aspirin. I have nothing to wash this down with. It was really, really tough to swallow.
It felt like a little bit like the playoff game against the Dodgers in LA, game 2, where the Padres whooped them. But Tatis was fighting with the crowd, or not fighting, but engaging with the crowd. You had emotions, you had home runs. Like, it felt like a playoff game yesterday.
Man, and Robert, I'm not going to blame Martin Maldonado for not scoring on that. Bro, I know he got waived. I know Leaper waved him home earlier in the game. He would have been out by 15 feet, dude.
Yeah.
50. Now, he said because he was huffing and puffing. Yeah, dude, he's a big old catcher. He's a big old catcher. Leaper, I don't know what
Leaper was thinking on that one.
Well, didn't like Don or Mud? What they said, and he's held up, and probably the right call.
Well,
he holds up.
And I was listening at the time, and Tony and Jesse asked the question of Tony. He goes, because again, the throw came home and it allowed Tatis to get an extra base. And Tony and Jesse goes, is there any potential? Is that a play where you can deke them into drawing that throw home, knowing full well I'm not really sending you? And I thought maybe. I mean, because he would have been out by 15 feet.
Yeah. You kind of like turn on the gas all the way as you're rounding, make them think you're going.
Make you think you're going.
I know that you really are supposed to always follow the instructions of your third base coach. He sees it better than you do. Guy may have just let it go through his legs in left field, and you don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know
so
that.
So you're supposed to go.
Bro, he also knows his body. He also knows. He's like,
but
I have no chance.
feel like
I'm
if you're the runner and you go, I got nothing rounding third. I mean, this could get really ugly.
Been there many
make
times,
that decision
many times.
Live to fight another day. You get a good hitter coming up right behind. I don't want to make the last out of this inning at home plate.
No.
Turned out not to work out for the San Diego Padres, and ultimately 10 innings. They gave up 3 hits and 3 walks. That's barely half a base runner per inning. Yankees expected runs in that game is less than 1, and they just happened to get their hits, and they made them big hits at the exact right times that they needed them, and scored just enough to beat the Padres 4-3.
We all right. Got the day off, lick your wounds a little bit, flush it, and get back and go beat Colorado in the House of Horrors. Now that's the one that gets me. I'm spun.
And, we talked about it on the roundtable and a little bit on our show last week. What do you want out of this 9-game road trip?
Yeah.
5-4, 6-3, and kind of looking at the teams.
So they're 4-2 now.
4-2 now. I think
7-2.
We
what I want.
We all kind of, you don't want to say expected, but we were okay with losing 2 out of 3 to the Yankees.
I think we all said,
and it was even more so after you sweep Pittsburgh.
You said win 1 in New York. And then go. You got to handle the Pirates and got to handle the Rockies. So the bookends.
But I think,
the Padres
losing that series to the Yankees, I think means you have to win 2 out of 3.
The Padres are in very good shape for a 6-3, maybe even 7-2 road trip. I'm not going to expect a sweep, but remember, Colorado Rockies have to play a doubleheader today. They have now gone to TBD for every pitcher of the series against the Padres.
Nice.
ESPN had him listed, but
he's tough.
The Padres it looks like it'll be Randy Vasquez, Stephen Kolek, and Nick Pivetta going up against the Colorado Rockies in these 3 games. The Rockies will have to see what they've got left. They may have to make some roster moves after today when they play 2 against the Detroit Tigers. They had to play an extra inning game last night.
Did they win?
They lost, of course, 8-6 in extra innings to the Tigers. This is a team that was 6-26 or something at this point.
Terrifying.
I know. I understand the trepidation going into a series, just because you feel like even if you lose 1, you've given up some ground. And you have, but
see, I look at it like
this is a good situation for the Padres to wrap up their road trip.
We swept them, right?
Yeah,
here in San Diego. I'm like, yeah, the way my brain works is like, well, we have to regress to the mean. There's no way we win 3 more against them. You can't beat a team 6 times in a row,
right?
And it's in Denver.
It's in Denver.
The Denver factor, the randomness of the bloops that can fall in their giant outfield. The pitcher beats the hitter, but there's so much outfield out there that those weak flies turn into singles. It works both ways. You can't complain
says
about
it works both ways. It doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it sometimes.
Yeah, 5-4 would suck. Right,
at this point, that means you lose the series to the Rockies. And all of us would have said, that's all right on this road trip. I mean, 2 East Coast cities, a lot of travel. Didn't even know that they were going to have 4 rain delays.
Expectations change, though.
But yes, they have changed. And now it's 6-3 or 7-2 and bust for the San Diego Padres. And getting Jake Cronenworth back expected tomorrow. He finished his rehab stint with El Paso yesterday, went 1 for 2 again with a walk, 2 more runs scored. They pulled him after they felt like, all right, we've seen enough. Yep. So I fully anticipate that Jake was on the plane to Colorado to meet the team, and he will rejoin the lineup, which will mean the Padres will be at as full strength as they've been all season long when they open up a series against a team which will be as hampered as it's been all season long. I mean, Chris Bryant's out. He's having, back surgery. He's gone. Their pitching staff will be decimated after a doubleheader. It's the right situation. That's what makes Woods worried. It's all lining up well for the Padres this weekend.
I mean, you mean it's all lining up well for the Rockies this weekend because, as you just said, they'll have no pitching. They'll be battered. They'll be calling guys up on the shuttle. It sets you up in Denver for, as we know, there's always a deeper darkness, and that would be the deepest of the dark to go in and drop 2 or 3 to those guys.
All right, we still have the audio from John Boy, Mike Shildt to get to from the ejection earlier this week. When we come back, though, it's don't and do this. And I don't know if this has ever happened, but we got one of our colleagues is going to make it into do this after a very unusual moment in last night's Tony Gwynn, Jesse Agler broadcast at Yankee Stadium.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
We'll get to that coming up next after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Well, listen, if you are watching the NBA playoffs, and I'm really not, I'll be honest with you. I do follow along on Twitter. I know that it's been very exciting. Underdog is one of the best places to make picks during the playoff basketball that's going on right now. They score buckets. You could score cash on Underdog, one of the leading places to make all your sports picks. Now, you know how daily fantasy works. All you got to do is choose what your players do. They go higher or lower on things like points, assists, rebounds, and more. And you can mix and match across different sports. There's all kinds of fun that you can have on Underdog. And once you get your picks locked in, you can play with as little as $1. Guys, like I said, I had like 8 picks the other night, put $2 on it. Right, would have won a bunch of money, but it's so much fun. It's so easy to do, and you don't have to break the bank when you do it. So download the Underdog app, sign up with the promo code Woods to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Promo code is Woods. Got to be 18 and over, 19 and over in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and over in Colorado for some games, 21 and over in Massachusetts and Arizona. Present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. And in New York, call the 24/7 Hope line, 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Don't do this. Brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't
leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do
set up a trust or will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. Woods, you get us started today.
I will, man. We will stay in the world of baseball here. This is a no-no, and this is the kind of thing that can and will get you benched in the big leagues. Luis Rengifo, who was playing second base for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim last night. Home game. You're looking at the top of the seventh inning. The Blue Jays have runners on first and second and one out. Pitcher makes a great pitch, gets the three-hopper out to second baseman Luis Rengifo, who picks it cleanly and just throws it on to first base. Hey, no problem. Woods, you got an out. Well, it's not Little League. It was a tailor-made double play ball. He forgot how many outs there were and just took the first out at second. He had all day to make the throw to second, turn two. And listen, maybe you don't get that guy at first, but you get that lead runner, right? And he forgot how many outs there were. Ron Washington actually pulled him from the game in the seventh, replaced him with Kevin Newman to teach him a little bit of a lesson there. Brain fart of the ultimate brain fart in the big leagues. There are outs posted everywhere. I'm in double play depth, the double play position. Our pitcher's looking for a double play. Didn't even attempt, Ben, to make the throw and got benched. Now, Angels did come back and win this game, beat the Blue Jays last night. Blue Jays blew a, like I said, 4-run lead there in the seventh inning, and they ended up losing it. But he did get benched for that.
So that's a very old school move.
Yeah.
Ron Washington, as old school, I think, as it gets right now among Major League Baseball managers. Not sure that every manager, even most managers, would do that.
I don't know. I mean, anymore. At the big leagues, I don't know.
And I think it's debatable. You certainly want your players to be locked in and be aware of the situation at all times.
Well, I think it depends on the player.
Of course, everybody is going to make a mistake from time to time. Everybody is going to have a moment where got confused for a second. It's a long season. It's going to happen. So are you going to embarrass your player by pulling him out of the game? Is that going to do more long-term damage than it does benefit in terms of the less? I would hope you're a major league player and you make that mistake, you feel bad enough as it is without getting necessarily yanked from the game by your skipper. I can see it both ways. I really can. And I do think you're right, Woods. It depends on the player. If you feel like someone truly is not, doesn't have their head in the game, and this isn't the first time,
and it's not,
you need to make a point about it at some point. You just can't let it slide.
Yeah, pretty tough look for him, man. It's listen, you can deal with errors. Errors are going to happen. Those guys hit the ball really, really hard. They get it really, really hard. You can deal with some boots here and there. What you can't deal with is the not knowing the situation every single time. That's little league stuff, man. That's little league stuff. I got to turn two here. Taylor-made double play ball and throws it to first and gets the out.
I'll go to basketball, and I'm not going to make any hot takes on this story. It is simply don't do this, and to who, I guess we'll find out when the legal process plays out. But a woman is suing former Lakers player and coach Byron Scott, accusing him of sexual assault. Now, here's the kind of interesting twist to the story. It happened, she says, in 1987. He was 26 years old. They were at a team event at a school, a high school, and she says she was 15 at the time.
Oh, God. What is this story?
Yikes. And
this one.
Oh, yeah.
Scott's lawyer says, not denying that there was an encounter in a janitor's closet, but says that Scott believed it was of age and consensual. Nothing seemed to have been said about it until a couple of years ago when a lawsuit was filed. Scott's lawyers got his name held out of it for the time being, but now it's out there and it's going to be a case. I mean, that was, what is that, almost 40 years ago now when this happened. So I guess, I mean, it can be tough to prove and remember anything from back then, but certainly one way or another, don't do this story. Scott is now coaching in the Philippines, actually, in basketball after his NBA stint and head coaching career that included a stop with the Lakers where he played.
Well, the doo-doo this story is much more lighthearted than that. Today,
DD mega doo-doo.
Just a little bit.
And the doo-doo this goes to our very own Dave Marcus, who absolutely knocked it out of the park last night with his quick thinking.
Long time producer and engineer for our Padres broadcast.
Listener may be in the car right now and you go, I don't know Dave Marcus. You know Dave Marcus. If you've ever heard a Padres radio broadcast over the last 30 years?
I think about 30 years, yeah.
That's right, Paul.
Dave Marcus is the man that makes it happen.
That's right.
It's really it's much deeper, though.
That's right.
And I'll give another doo-doo this to Jesse Agler, because he actually does this semi-often when there's a funny moment in the broadcast that doesn't have to do with the incorporator or it's not part of a highlight that we'll probably play in the wrap-up the next morning. Jesse will text me and be like, hey, if you guys need it for tomorrow, pretty funny conversation, pretty funny story, pretty funny moment. And so he texted me last night and he goes, hey, if you need something for tomorrow, I'm like, we do. Whatever you're telling me, we do need it because we have long show tomorrow and a roundtable. And he texted me and he said, go listen to the Maldonado at bat in the 9th inning. There was a foul ball that came into the booth and it had a funny moment with Tony. I said, all right, done. So I went and pulled it this morning. This was in the top of the 9th inning, Maldonado at the plates.
Maldonado 0 for 3, swings at the first pitch, sends it right back towards Tony and into our booth.
You hear that?
Yeah.
I also heard Darth Vader for some reason.
They play a lot of sound effects at
and
Yankees.
They're loud.
It's like a whale sound,
Actually,
and then there's
you'll hear another one at the end of this clip.
Sends it right back towards Tony and into our booth. You got it? How'd we do? Where'd it end up? Oh, it broke your box. The foul ball broke his box, and now he can't get on the air. That's incredible. We have the ball. Tony just threw it back, and the 0-1 to Maldonado is low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So Jesse has to call the game by himself right now while Tony's figuring this out. The microphone box that they have in front of them got hit by the ball and shattered.
Yeah.
So Martin just took out Tony's microphone box, and he is not able to speak to us. Now Dave's got to do some emergency surgery on the fly. What's happening up here is as exciting as what's happening down there. 1-1 is swung on and missed strike 2. You back?
I'm back.
Wow, look at that. He's got a standby box ready. Just plug it in.
It's like an air raid.
You can't even hear Jesse and Tony.
Just quickly plug it in.
So when Jesse says the box, it's basically, I don't know, the size of
I can't hear you over the air raid siren in the background.
So they pointed out in the chat, Yankees, the quote-unquote evil empire, that's the Death Star alarm. That is when the rebels are attacking. That's the alarm from the Death Star. That's why Darth Vader's breathing is one of their sound effects. They lean heavily in to their image as the evil empire. So they play all
Appreciate that. People coming in to check on us, make sure we got through it all right.
That was hot.
Sorry, so yeah, the box is like the size of a tape recorder. It's got a couple of knobs and dials and plugs in like a 3-prong plug-in for his headset. And the baseball, the foul ball actually landed right on
top of it,
on that box, and it knocked the wires loose or whatever. And Dave Marcus just sprung right on top of it, gets down there, either replaces it or fixes it, gets the wires back in order, gets Tony back on the air within a minute.
That was incredible.
Incredible work by Dave Marcus.
Sorry, Katie. Katie's mad at us that we did not know that was the Death Star alarm. I had no idea. I thought it was air. I thought they were air raiding something.
Or whale mating.
A whale mating. You saw the night before the whistle. Some Yahoo.
That was unofficial.
That was unofficial. Some Yahoo in the stands had a referee's whistle, and when the Padres were hitting, they were blowing the whistle. The guy would go into his stretch. He would reach back. As the ball would leave his hand, he'd go, doo, and he'd whistle. And there's Jackson
and he would
Manning.
mix it up with different timing and different.
Yes.
So players couldn't get used to the sound. It's something
excruciating.
That if I was sitting in that guy's section, I would have like pointed like him. Even if I was a Yankees fan. Tattletale.
Do you see what he just did?
Right there. Right there, whistle, right there. Usher, get rid of him, take him out.
Yeah, get him. It was
now. I don't know if the players could actually hear it, or if it was.
Of course they could.
Well, it could have just been near the crowd mic picking it up. I mean, it's a big, loud stadium.
It is, but you are going to hear that whistle.
I also noticed like the lights that the light displays that they have like in between innings, pitchers coming in for a pitching change, and right before they go to a commercial break, I'm like, it looks like it's pitch black on the field.
I know.
Like I know when they dim the lights, like they do it when Suarez comes in at Petco Park on a night game, but I'm like, it looks like it is pitch black. They were like Jackson was sitting in the on deck circle up against the railing, and he just disappeared. I thought it was also kind of cool. So the Knicks won last night, 91-90 over the Celtics.
Yeah,
and you could kind of hear it on the television broadcast. Don and Mudd acknowledged like fans going crazy here, and I believe, it looks like the Knicks score has just gone final, 91-90 to take a 2-game lead, which nobody saw that coming. I think it's kind of a fun moment for sports fans. Like you're watching one team, and everybody is following along for another game that's happening. I guess I didn't pull it, I couldn't find it, but in the radio broadcast, Jesse said you couldn't barely talk because the place was so loud when the Knicks final score happened.
Nice. They rallied for a second straight game from a 20-point deficit on the road to win again. I thought Boston was going to sweep that series, and now they're in danger of being eliminated. And that is Don't and Do This for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
I see Sammy Levitt standing by. He was all over it on the post-game show last night with the Dylan Cease injury, what Mike Shildt had to say. We will get to Sammy coming up next year with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
I got two messages last night, one right in the middle of the game, one after the game, one from our pal Chris asking me about QC Kinetics, one from my pal Britton, who I've played baseball with and against for many, many years. And he's got a shoulder, and Chris was curious to know his mom's elbow has been killing her, and they don't want to do surgery. So they asked me, again, as they always do, Woodsy, give me the real story on QC Kinetics. I said, I'll give you the real story every single morning on QC Kinetics. You don't believe me? Ask Benny and Paul. These guys heard me griping about my wrists for like 6 months. I mean, it was just pain, and we played golf together, and I couldn't play. It was horrible.
I haven't had to rub cream on your back in like 2 months.
Yeah,
or 2 years.
Paulie has not had to rub me down in a long, long time. But no, man, QC was incredible for me. And they'll, like I told my buddy Britton, hey, man, they'll give you a free consultation when you call 619-614-PAIN. It's regenerative cell therapy. A lot of athletes use this. I'm not really an athlete, but I do like to play golf and play baseball, play guitar, pick up my children, all those things I couldn't do with my very painful wrists. Now I can, lifting heavier than ever. So it's been a life changer for me. That's how I feel about QC Kinetics. 619-614-PAIN. Again, they will give you a free consultation. They're taking appointments now in Torrey Hills and Hillcrest. Check them out. They're going to take such good care of you. And again, it's a phone call away, 619-614-PAIN. Get back to doing all the things that you love to do that you're missing out on. All natural, cellular level option with lasting relief. You can't beat it. It's QC Kinetics, 619-614-PAIN.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Next hour, 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Robert Half. At Robert Half, they found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why their recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today. Sammy Levitt's very talented, hosting our Padres pre- and post-game shows.
Huge talent.
He was all over it last night. We will talk to Sammy right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by City Cruises. Got a stalled car in the bus lane northbound 805 before Imperial, but they did get that stalled car out of the way on North 805 transition to westbound King Freeway, so looking much better there. 2-car collision on the Milo Carsway on-ramp to northbound 5. That's over to the right shoulder. Set sail with Randy Hauser as he lights up the bay for an exclusive concert cruise like no other. Join us on Friday, May 23rd with City Cruises live in San Diego for an epic night of country music, dinner, drinks, and skyline views. Get tickets now at citycruises.com/live. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Woods and I were talking earlier. No one loves an off day after 2 losses in a row, and you got to sit on them until at least Friday against the Colorado Rockies. But no one in San Diego probably needs an off day more than Sam Levitt, who is. It's been a slog of a road trip with the rain delays and him having to fill just random amounts of time in Pittsburgh and then in New York, and the long games and long post-game shows with lots of stories to cover. You've done a great job working very hard, Sammy, and you finally get your day off, and here you are with us at 7:30 in the morning.
Thank you, Sammy.
I'm also proud to say that I did not use 1 single second of pre-recorded content in any of those rain delays. I know Adam Klug would be very proud to say that we keep it live and local during our rain delays, ripping phone calls and doing all kinds of things. But hey, part of the job to keep the fans entertained when there is inclement weather.
Yeah, Mutt and Don just go right to, a pre-recorded 1978 episode of This Week in Baseball as soon as the rain delay happens.
Holy cow. Yeah.
It's time for Twib Notes.
Here's Twib Notes. Gary Carter comes through in the 8th. Yeah, dude. I mean, look. Those guys. Well, yeah, those guys.
That Mel Allen was the voice of This Week in Baseball?
Not really down to vamp, Sammy. But no, man, last night was a stinger. Heartbreaker. Fun game. Fun game. One, the Padres certainly played well enough to win, except when they didn't. And, yeah, man, it was kind of a bummer. How was the fan reaction after the game?
Yeah, I think when we have losses like that, there's always a little bit of overreaction. I think you have to sometimes kind of take a breath and base things in reality. The bullpen before Tuesday's game had not given up a lead in the 7th inning or later, right? And then it happens a couple of times in a couple of days. And Jason Adam in particular, Kevin Acee had some of these numbers in his newsletter. He hadn't given up any of the previous 22 leads he's been given going back to last season. And we all know how good Jason has been since the trade from Tampa Bay. And he's been terrific against lefties. He's been terrific against everybody. So, look, I viewed last night as a really, really, really good baseball game. Obviously, Grisham is having the best start of his career. You're going to have a moment like that for a bullpen. You happen to have them 2 straight days. I think the thing about last night that was really frustrating beyond anything else, obviously, and you guys alluded to it, was the top of the 10th inning. I mean, when you have Fernando and Manny and Xander and you have the go-ahead run 90 feet away, you've got to find a way to get it in. And they couldn't. With that said, and Woodsy, you alluded to this too, the extra innings have become so weird now, and it's so hard to even like yes, obviously in that spot you got to get the run in, but to even get on teams when you don't execute in 1/2 inning and then you flip things over to the bottom half, and just like that, the winning run is on second base, and you can do something as easily as the Yankees did, which is bump the runner over and get him in with a sac fly. It does feel like the home team gets this huge advantage. But bottom line, in the extra inning, it's bad execution, and the Padres didn't do it. The Yankees did.
It's weird because the Padres actually got 2 base runners in their extra inning. The Yankees got none at all. But it's because of the circumstances and how it works. You flip it around, it's a whole different ball game when you go first and they go second. So yeah, it's a weird situation. But the big story, Sam, obviously was Dylan Cease, both the performance and then coming out with an injury. Didn't seem that concerning when you saw him in the dugout there. You were covering the post-game show. What did everybody have to say after the game?
Yeah, they called it a cramp. Dylan talked after the game, and he called it also just his hand, I think cramping up a little bit. So he didn't seem concerned after the game, which is good. I think anytime you have a pitcher being visited by the training staff and you see him clearly mouth the word forearm, it's going to get you a little concerned. And look, I certainly am not going to, with 100% certainty, at least for me, going to be totally comfortable until Dylan's back out there for his next start. Because again, anytime you hear the word forearm and any kind of discomfort, whether it be a cramp or anything else with a pitcher, it's going to raise some level of concern. But certainly it doesn't seem like Dylan was very concerned after the game, and didn't seem like the Padres were all that concerned either. So hopefully it is nothing. Hopefully he's back out there for his next start, and we move on from there. But I will say, just on the Dylan Cease front, I mean, that was certainly a silver lining from last night. He looked great. We had been wondering, start after start, when would we finally see the dominant version of Dylan Cease that we know is in there? And man, he was so good last night. So that was a huge silver lining yesterday, assuming Dylan is okay and he's going to be out there for his next scheduled start. The fact that he seemed to find it, and we saw last season, when he finds it, it tends to be a little bit of a run where he start really, really, really good. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come for Dylan Cease. I also thought the other silver lining of the two losses, Jackson Merrill coming off the IL and just not skipping a beat. I mean, just looking like the same guy yesterday, clutch situation, 8th inning, comes up with a base hit. It's pretty remarkable for a 22-year-old. So a couple of silver linings from what otherwise was a pretty tough loss. I think their toughest loss of the year.
Talking to Sammy Levitt here on Ben and Woods. If we were in New York sports radio this morning, I would have said Jackson Merrill back 0-2 since he's come back. So what has this guy really done? What has he really done? Sammy, I'd beat the desk a little bit. No, his presence in the lineup is fantastic. And I think a lot of Padre fans right now are forgetting Yankees are a first-place team. They're a really good team. They've got good players. And, again, you didn't execute. And to have your stars come up and fail in that top of the 10th is certainly glaring. And it's funny. I got a DM on Ben and Wood's Instagram this morning, and it said, it's from a guy named Johnny. It's actually last night. He said, well, get ready to bring the turd polish sound effect. Paulie, you got it. Can't wait to hear you guys defend the turd superstars. In my opinion, the only superstar on this team is Jackson. So I wrote him back. I said, the turd superstars who helped us win the first game in sweet Pittsburgh and have got us 10 games over 500, those turd superstars. Well, then, Sammy, I went and looked at his profile picture. He's got like 40-inch biceps. He's huge. Yeah, I think he's a boxer. And I said, you know what? I just saw your profile pic. Never mind. You're right. They're turds. They're all turds. Every single one of them. That's the dream scenario if you're Mike Shildt or a Padres fan. And, I said it this morning. I stand by it. I would like those guys in that situation every single time. Absolutely. Single time. They didn't come through. They came through Friday, or they came through on Monday. They did not come through on Tuesday or Wednesday, and it happens, and we'll take our chances at Colorado. Right. I wish I could tell you, though, that this road trip is going to get easier for you. Now, these games in Colorado tend to last about 6 to 7 hours, typically, each time we play them, even with the pitch clock. It feels like these games are slogs. They're slugfest. Could be another long weekend for you, buddy.
Yeah, hopefully no rain. As long as there's no rain, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
But look, Coors Field has been a place, and there's no secret about it, that's been very tough for the Padres, and that's since they started being a pretty good team. If you look at since 2020, they're 16-23 at Coors Field. The amazing thing, and I had to go look this up before they played the Rockies the first time this year, and to the Padres' credit, they took care of business the first series between these two teams. But the Padres, a 93-win team last year, they went 5-8 against the Colorado Rockies. So I think, Woodsy, when you get pretty nervous about the Rockies coming to town or going to Denver, I think it's well warranted.
My World Series, man. It really is. This is my World Series every year.
This has been a team, despite the Padres for the last handful of years being an above 500 team, a pretty good team across Major League Baseball, across the landscape. Yeah, they've struggled in Denver, and they've often struggled against the Rockies. I do want to say just one thing on the Manny Xander stuff, because I got a phone call last night that was, kind of getting into those two. And look, there's no way around it. In the 10th inning yesterday, that's a spot where they got to come up. It's the difference between winning and losing a game. Absolutely. But it ignores the fact that, those two guys come up with the huge hits in the furious 4-run rally in the 8th inning on Monday night. And the other thing is, too, like, you can pick out whatever numbers you want. Like the caller yesterday was getting into numbers about high leverage situations. So afterwards, I was looking some stuff up. Like, Manny, yes, the power numbers are down. You'd like him to have more than 3 home runs. He's hitting 364 with runners in scoring position this year. I mean, he's come up with a lot of big hits and been really good in a number of respects. So, look, I don't think you can overreact to 2 losses against the team that was in the World Series last year. Now comes the part where it's 3 against the Rockies, 3 against the Angels. Got to take care of business.
Yeah, it's the thing that we stress a lot with fans, and I get it. You're emotional. You watch the game. Baseball is a sport that you have to look at the long term. Hitting 364 with runners in scoring position is fantastic. You know what it also means? It means you fail 6.5 out of every 10 times you come up with a runner in scoring position, and that you're still one of the best in baseball at it, and you're still going to fail most of the time.
It's hard, man. It's hard for people to swallow.
Yesterday was one of those times. Out of the majority of times, you are going to fail in those situations, and you can still be really good at it. I think it's one of the hardest concepts because it's very rare in sports that someone who fails a majority of the time is one of the best in their respective fields at their job. But in baseball, hitting, you can be one of the best that's ever done it, and you still fail 6 to 7 out of every 10 times you try.
It's tough, man. It's tough. And I'm going to hammer that point home. If it gets down to this in Colorado, and, I have a choice of guys that I want up at the plate, those are the guys. I mean, Merrill was up. He got dotted. You felt like he was going to do something against Williams there, and he got absolutely drilled.
And Katie in the chat says, but all 3 strikeouts. Yeah, it's frustrating.
It's
but just because Tatis struck out doesn't make Manny any more or less likely to strike out or Xander any more or less likely, other than the fact that maybe Devin Williams was actually, making that changeup dance a little bit more and has been one of the best nastiest pitchers in baseball for the last few years. Now, he hasn't been this year. They got him a couple of days ago, but he's going to get his as well because pitchers are the opposite. They succeed far more often than they fail.
Yeah, it's a good point here by Tyler. Aaron Judge had 1 hit, 1 in that series, and they took 2 out of 3. He is their star player. He is on track to win an MVP, first ballot Hall of Famer. He had 1 hit that series. 1. It's going to happen. So it did not work out in their favor. I don't think it's turd polishing. I think it's being reasonable. I do. I think it's being reasonable, trying to be reasonable. I'm an emotional guy. I hate losses. Guy told me last night, it's so easy for you to just, slough it off. I said, you think it's easy for me? I got to go talk about this for 5 hours tomorrow. It's not easy for me. I hate it. I said, but I also realize I got 130 more chances to do it this year. And those guys are having good seasons. Let's get them back on track in Colorado. It's a good place to do it.
I think 2 things can be true at once, right? You can look at the 10th inning yesterday and realize the game turned in that 10th inning, and that's a critical moment. And your, high-priced players, hey, that's a spot where you need them to come through with a runner on third base and less than 2 outs and with the go-ahead run and with how important executing is in the extra inning. But also look at it and be like, Manny's been pretty good so far this year, other than the home run numbers being down, and I'm just picking Manny in particular for this argument. Manny's been pretty darn valuable and good in big spots this year. I will say just one thing, and maybe you guys have been on this or not. I know Chris Ello in the afternoon has been all over this for like 2 weeks. Kind of a weird thing, and it does kind of tie into a bigger theme of their season so far. Do you know the Padres haven't hit a 3-run home run or a grand slam yet this year? Only 30 home runs, and Kevin had this in his newsletter today, and a credit to him. He always has great numbers in there. Lowest percentage of runs scored via home runs this season. I will say, and I don't have numbers on this really to look it up yet, it does feel when you follow this team day after day, and they're 23-13, they're winning a lot of games. They play a lot of close games.
They do.
It feels like you talk about just big picture, like macro sense. Yeah, hitting some more home runs, having some bigger leads would probably take a little pressure off the bullpen. You wouldn't feel like things are so tight all the time. So, look, we'll see if that's a theme throughout the season or if it's small sample size, less than 40 games. But I do think it's like something to keep in mind. Merrill was also out a month, right? He's going to hit a bunch of home runs, and Manny, obviously the home run numbers are down. Sander only has one. So we'll see if it's small sample size, but I think hitting some more home runs, that would fix a couple of things, I think.
And I think it's absolutely okay to be quote unquote concerned about the offense right now. They're near the bottom of the league and runs scored and things like that. So again, I think that's valid. What's your solution? Play better? I mean, that's why I got into this last night. All right, what's your solution? Because you're not going to bench Tatis. You're not going to bench Manny. You're not going to bench Xander. You're not going to bench Merrill. You're not going to bench Arise.
I mean,
what's your solution?
Later in the season, you might want to trade for a bat that can play left field.
Do it now. Like, what's stopping you? If that's the thing, then great. I'm into it. I'm not saying no. We got the right pieces that we need.
I'm saying this though. Jake coming back likely tomorrow. I don't want to face the Padres lineup if I'm another team, and I'm looking at Tatis, Arise, Machado, Merrill, Bogarts, Cronenworth, Sheets. I mean, that's not a fun lineup to face. I'll tell you that. There's not a lot of teams that can give you that many guys that deep that can hurt you. So in that sense, the Padres have a pretty good lineup. It just hasn't kind of all come together at once yet this year.
Yeah, I guess the point would be, because the offense and injuries have a big part in it, but the offense being a little bit more consistent would probably take some pressure off everybody else. Because you look at like the 8 out of 11 they lost, that was when the starting pitching was kind of faltering. Then you look at the last 2 games, the bullpen isn't perfect, and they've been wonderful, but they're not going to be perfect throughout a season. Would maybe take a little pressure off day to day of on the other parts of your team.
Yeah, a big crooked number would be nice. A 12-3 win, or a 10-4, whatever. Like a big crooked number, take some pressure off, use some lower leverage guys, get them work. Give these guys like Adam and Estrada and Suarez that have pitched so much, give them some time to get right and get back to doing what they do in those close games. I do get the sense that this team, as it's currently constructed, will play a lot of close games. This record could be flipped right now. I mean, it absolutely could be flipped had you not had the brilliant pitching of the bullpen and the timely hitting that they have shown. And again, I just can't get myself in a real panic mode being 10 games over 500 right now. I can't. They're still way better than I thought they would start, for sure. Look, and it's going to get tough. It's going to get tough. It always does. But yeah, I'm very confident that AJ Preller and the powers that be will do what we need to do to continue to compete. I am.
Sammy, enjoy your day off. Always good chatting with you.
All right, guys. Thanks.
There's Sam Levitt. And again, remember, the Padres have done this 10 games above 500 against one of the tougher schedules in baseball.
Yeah, we'll be all right. We're going to be all right. We're going to be all right.
By their power metrics, ESPN hasn't been only the Cubs in terms of what they've actually done so far this year. It's been actually quite good.
We're going to be all right.
For the Padres.
For now.
We'll come back. Hour number 3. We'll reset everything. We got a game of real or fake. Still haven't qualified anyone for the trip to Las Vegas. And Eno Sarris. All coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home, at least on this program today. Just a couple more hours of Ben and Woods official, right? Go till 10. We'll run into the sound space and give you another hour commercial free. It's the 97.3 The Fan Roundtable, brought to you by Roundtable Pizza. Ben Higgins will be your host. I will be there. Paulie Reindl will be there. Matt Scraby, Braden Suprenant, and Chris Ello. I believe that's the lineup for today.
Yeah, Tony Gwynn Jr. is in Denver right now.
The Sunshine State.
Late
Colorado.
arrival last night.
So I heard there's going to be my buddy John told me there's going to be a heat wave in Denver, which, should make the ball fly out of the yard. Hopefully it's more of our balls and fewer of their balls flying out of the yard. But a decent place to get back on track, Benny, if you're the San Diego Padres, certainly. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor as well.
Can I go on just a brief rant?
Mini rant.
Yeah, you may need the boomer filter for me here, Paulie. I know you usually save it for Woods, but I was driving home from Channel 10 last night. It was after the game, so it was around 7:30 to 8 p.m., and I'm on the 805. And traffic's pretty light, but I pull up. I'm in the fast lane, and then in the third lane, right next to me, is this car with a big LED display, and you can almost hear it. It's a freeway, but I still hear it going by. It says karaoke.
Karaoke.
Yeah. And there's people inside, and apparently, and I looked it up afterwards, so they're a company it's kind of like a ride share, like a Uber or Lyft, but when you're in there, you are singing, and they've got karaoke screens and the microphone, and you're just you're partying, and there's lights and everything. It's like a mini party bus, but it was just like an SUV. It wasn't a giant sized bus. It was only enough for 2 or 3 people in the back, and they're singing along and they're dancing. It seemed somewhat distracting and unsafe, though. They would it said, the LED said promposal, so it looked like it was probably some teenagers that were having a good time. And I don't mind everyone having a good time. I just don't know if you should be doing it on the freeways of San Diego during late evening rush hour.
Seems like you do have a problem with people having a good time.
It's not the good time. It's just where they're having the good time is are our roadways the place to be singing and, partying with lights and
so
distracting, LED screens on the freeway.
So you're not a big fan of the whole party bus thing.
Not really.
Have you ever been on?
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a party?
Have you ever been on a party bus?
I don't think an actual. I've been on a shuttle, like a rental car shuttle. I assume
that's not the same.
I assume it's fairly similar
from
to
the airport to Hertz rental car.
A rental car shuttle and a party bus are basically the same thing. It's just how happy the people are inside.
So who are you worried about being distracted? The driver of said bus or you on the freeway with the LED
Both
lights?
The driver of them and me and the other drivers around this car.
Okay.
It's making a big scene of itself on the freeway.
You don't like a big scene on the freeway.
No, I don't want a big scene on the freeway.
Don't order fajitas on the freeway as they bring
sizzling. This was the equivalent of fajitas on the freeway.
I like fajitas at home. Fajitas at home are fine. Don't order them in a restaurant. So, hey, look at me, everybody.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're just sitting at a table, you're not going to crash. You're safe. You're secure at a restaurant table. When you're driving, 75 in the fast lane on the 805, it can be kind of distracting.
What if I told you that other cars that don't have party bus stuff also get in crashes? What if I told you that?
I do realize that. I just think the odds are a little higher of a problem being caused by this one in particular.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But I think the driver, if you have the company, the party bus company, or the karaoke, you know what you're doing. Like you know you're not like, hey, what's going on back there?
Are you wearing earplugs and you're focused on the drive? Perhaps
you're probably extra locked in. Probably more locked in than I am when I'm driving. I'll tell you that right now.
Have you been on a party bus?
Oh yeah, many times.
Really?
Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. I don't really like I don't like partying in real enclosed spaces. Hey, everyone come to my house. We'll all pile in the closet and get lit and crank the music up as loud as it can go. And no, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of it, but I understand the purpose of them. And karaoke is a new one for me, though.
I had not seen this concept before.
Hey, free advertising karaoke. I'm a fan. Ben is not. I like karaoke. It is an interesting.
Do you?
Yeah, I like karaoke.
You really?
Oh yeah. I have a blast. I like to sing. I love to sing.
Should we go karaoke on our trip to Philadelphia? Find
Sure.
a karaoke bar?
Yeah, I'd love it.
I'm down.
I would absolutely love it. I love karaoke.
What's your go-to?
I have a few actually, Paulie. It used to be when I actually could sing and I like sang. I played a lot of like live gigs. When I could sing, what was that killer song? Not Mr. Brightside.
Somebody told me.
Yeah, and I would nail it. That's a hard song to sing. So that was one for a while. Come Monday was a big one from Jimmy Buffett. I could crush that one. My voice has changed a lot. Thank you, San Diego Seals. I've shredded my voice. It's now hamburger meat. But I have a bunch that I like to go to.
I've only done it a
Jam.
couple of times. It's been many years since I've even tried it. But I've always noticed that in the first verse of a song, I cannot get the tune right.
The timing or the tune?
The tune. Like
the tone.
My pitch is off a little bit. And then by the time I get kind of later into the song, I'm starting to sound pretty decent.
Yeah.
But it just takes me so long to get there.
Yeah, you need a couple of whiskeys is really the move. You need 2 whiskeys. 3, you're going to be sloppy. But 2, Yakitori Boy in Philadelphia is your spot, somebody says. Great. All right, we'll go to Yakitori Boy.
I like yakitori.
What is yakitori?
Skewered meats.
Oh, I like that too. But I do like karaoke. I guess I kind of agree. It's just a weird kind of concept to, hey, I'll pick you guys up. What if it was the only car you could take? And the last thing you wanted on the planet was people singing karaoke. You're trying to get to the Hampton Inn or something. You know what I mean? You're like, oh my God, these guys are singing Islands in the Stream. And no, I think it's fun.
And my voice it lends more to like, crooner type songs,
Frank Sinatra.
like rock. I don't really have a rock and roll sort of voice.
Now, you told me not too long ago, we were driving somewhere together and we were listening to the Smiths.
Yeah.
How Soon Is Now. And you said, I have never done it, and you want to try it.
But I don't really have Morrissey's voice either.
No, very few do.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's too high. I can't really hit the highs well. I get falsetto a little bit.
Is there a karaoke version of How Soon Is Now? Because, I mean, what better time and place than try?
When other than the present?
Yeah, then right now, just to see. Oh, Patrick said, imagine Woods belting out Rainbow in the Dark by Dio. I cannot hit
what
Dio.
Song did you want?
How Soon Is Now by the Smiths.
But like without the words?
Yeah.
Like you want me to supply the words.
Karaoke version. You know the words?
I think you do.
Words.
I do.
All right.
Let's see here.
People can do this quickly.
I'm not ready for this.
All right, just get lubed up. You have a couple whiskeys before.
Do you need to pull up the lyrics at all?
No, he says he's got them, dude. He's raw dogging this thing. Oh, raw dog karaoke with Ben and Woods.
Wow.
It's completely unplanned, by the way. Did not know this was happening.
Missed 2.
I am the sun and the air of a shyness that is criminally vulgar.
Needs the bouncing
I am
ball.
the sun and air.
Way off.
Well, I mean, I don't have the when to go in.
Yeah. Well,
how do you do it without the knowing when to jump in on the song? It's so hard. I don't know the song well enough, apparently.
Right,
I know the words, but
can you see my screen if I turn it?
Yeah.
If I go full screen.
Sure.
See the bouncing ball?
You see
I got the timing on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we'll start it again here.
Take
we'll go.
2.
How did I sound? Okay.
It says nope, stop, please, lol. No,
Right,
Kurt,
3,
we're not stopping.
3, 2, 1.
I am the sun and the air of a shyness that is criminally vulgar. I am the sun and air of nothing in particular.
I don't think you know the song well enough. Your timing's off. He
Yeah,
doesn't
it's tough.
drag it out.
It's tough.
good though.
It's
I want to
not great.
get to the next part. I want to hear him. You shut your mouth. That's what I want to
You
hear.
shut your mouth.
All right, ready?
How can you say? You shut your mouth. How can you say? I go about things the wrong way. I am human and I need to be loved.
Listen to his accent.
Just like everybody else does.
Acapella.
Now, again,
I get better as I go.
You do,
It's
but-
always hard at the beginning.
why do you do the act? Why don't you sing it like you and not him?
'Cause he's
is,
him.
Is karaoke? Are you supposed to imitate the guy?
Absolutely.
You are. Okay. All right.
If you don't sing it with a British accent, you're totally
All
off.
right. Okay. I
think so.
It's a philosophical thing
I
in
told you,
karaoke.
it always starts so bad, and then I kind of
lock
get
in.
into it. It takes a while, though.
That's why we do foreplay every day. It's exactly why we do foreplay on Ben and Woods, because it takes a while to get into it. Yeah, you really did. You were busting the accent out.
I got to get into it. It definitely requires some timing to get into.
No, it's good. It was good.
Really rough at the beginning, though, which
Yeah.
really makes me not want to start because I know how bad it's going to be.
Yeah, it was not terrible, and I would like to see you attempt that entire song.
I need more practice.
Oh yeah,
clearly.
yeah. You listen to the song more because it's the speed of the words. You got to get it down.
I thought that last verse, I was kind of
not
getting
bad.
my timing on a little bit.
Oh, that's a good idea. Take on Woods, but it's 2-second songs of Ben singing. Pretty brilliant idea, Curtis. This is why we love the chat. We do not need AI.
That's the hardest way to do it.
Yeah.
Completely different songs.
I would die.
Oh, that would be so difficult.
I would die. That's
So
a good
tough.
idea. That was great. That was great. I've done some Elvis, Tony. I did some Suspicious Minds. Was a big favorite of mine.
Maybe when we take our trip to Philadelphia, instead of a regular car to the airport, we get karaoke and we all go to the airport
Ooh.
together and sing.
You know what's funny? Now that you mention it, when I do Suspicious Minds, I can't sing it like me. You're caught in a trap. I can't walk out. I have to sing it like Elvis. Because I love you too
course you
much,
do.
baby. I have to sing it just like that. Very, very good. Very good, Ben. You had some stones for doing that. I appreciate that. That was not planned.
No.
Not even a little. But
I think it's less that I have courage. I'm just so far beyond embarrassment.
yeah,
at
it's
this
fair.
point
That's fair.
that it really doesn't matter
No,
anymore.
you realize content is king, and that was some really, really good.
Or you're
content.
drunk.
Or you're drunk right now. One of the two.
We-
So the karaoke people, if you're out there listening, I like your concept. I hope it works out for you. Ben is not a fan just because of the distraction.
Maybe if you're just parked.
If you pull over on the
pull
side of the
over on
road.
side of the road and just sit there and then you drive afterwards.
It's so good. So good. Very well done.
Zen says Ben has no shame.
Yeah, no.
That's pretty much
none.
Woods has beaten all the shame out of me over the last 7 years.
You did it to yourself. All right. You did it to yourself.
Oh man! All right, we need a contestant for real or fake. Yeah, I'm a little flustered here. Real or fake is coming up next. We have no qualifiers yet because Woods has been on point for Take on Woods so far this month. But you can qualify for the Bruno Mars concert in Las Vegas, the 2-night stay at the Park MGM, and the $100 gift card. You just call us at 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. And I will tell you that the theme has something to do with last night's Padres Yankees game in the Bronx.
Okay.
In particular, someone who was at the game last night.
Oh boy, we get very excited anytime anyone wears a Padres hat.
That's true.
Very excited.
But
that kills me.
we will get to the contest and the game coming up next. Then Eno Sarris at the bottom of the hour with Ben Woods after traffic on 97.3 The Fan. First, though, tell you about SDFatLoss.com. Don't know if my voice changed from losing the weight, but I certainly feel much better than I did before. It was 2 summers ago that I lost 40 pounds in 60 days simply by following the doctor-developed, easy-to-follow strategies from the SDFatLoss.com counselor that I had. Very supportive. Anytime I had some questions, they were there with answers, different tips and techniques to help me lose the weight fast, up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. I've done it. Chris Ella did it. Matt Scraby did it. John Flint down the hall, and so many tier ones. We are in the thousands of pounds lost here in San Diego, all thanks to the SDFatLoss.com program. You don't have to buy any shakes or bars or mixes. It's all based on real food that you get from the grocery store, and there are no drugs or injections. That, by the way, you can take the injections, you may lose weight. If you stop taking them, you're going to gain the weight right back. They don't tell you that when you start the injections, but it's true. This is a sustainable program. I have kept the weight off for now 2 years. You can do it as well. Set up a free consultation at SDFatLoss.com. Find out how the program can work for you and get $200 off right now. The spring special continuing right through the month of May. Get you in shape in time for the real summer in San Diego in July and August at SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
There's a lot. This is another karaoke classic of mine.
Which one is this?
Simple Man by Leonard Skinner. Yes.
I was impressed by how many Padres fans were in the Bronx this week.
Travel well, man.
You were visible. You were heard over the television and radio broadcasts. You could tell that there were a lot of Padres fans in attendance, and some of them were even located right behind home plate in the good seats, the ones that, can afford it, that have a big Hollywood career. I'm talking, of course, about Emma Stone and her husband, Dave McCary. What's his name?
Yeah, Dave McCary.
Yeah, so they were there last night for the game in their Padres gear, looking pretty sharp. Emma Stone had the retro orange SD brown jacket, but then the pinstripe blue and orange hat. She makes it work. She does. And Jesse and Tony were talking about him during the broadcast as well, right?
Yes, they had a funny story to tell about Emma Stone.
As is often the case at big New York City sporting events, the stars are out. Our dear friends Dave McCary and Emma Stone sitting first row behind home plate. And the word that we've gotten is, at one point tonight, I believe it was the Jackson Merrill home run, Emma became so excited that she started shaking the net. 0-2, swing and a miss. Gonzalez strikes out for the third time, one away here in the seventh inning, in such a manner that a Yankee Stadium security guard came down and gave her the old, ma'am, if you don't mind, please keep your hands off the net.
Yeah. Unapologetically a Padre fan here in the Bronx.
Wreaking havoc at the Bronx Zoo.
I mean, both her and Dave have rolled into some of the raucous stadiums and been unapologetically themselves.
Pitch outside, 1-1 to Iglesias. Yeah, the wild card series in 22 at Citi Field. They were sitting, right behind home plate over in Queens, and they showed her on the video board, and everybody cheered. And then she kind of pointed that she was wearing a Padre jacket, and you can imagine the reaction from the Met fans.
This is one of my favorite moments of that postseason.
Had all this Met swag for her to wear, and she was like, "I'm going to stay in the Padre jacket if that's okay." And the guy was like, "I mean, you can, but you're going to get booed." Ball outside, 1-0 to Maldonado, and she and Dave were like, "Yeah, no problem,
no shame."
And
love it.
Booed.
I love that they are proud Padres fans.
Loud and proud and shaking the nets and really, really getting into the game last night.
Hollywood celebs are probably not used to being told they can't do something.
Yeah, no doubt.
How about Dave McCary wearing a Ruben Niebla jersey?
I will say this. I was a little jealous of that jersey.
I'm like, did Ruben Niebla give him a jersey?
Maybe. But
or do they just sell Ruben Niebla jerseys?
Ruben tweeted about it last night and said, "Thanks for the support."
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Well, all of that is an elaborate setup for today's game of real or fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. Yeah, you can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
Real or Fake, brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you, and we got Cody, who's trying to win our prize today. Again, it is the a chance to qualify for the grand prize drawing. Tickets to Bruno Mars in Las Vegas at the Dolby Live at Park MGM on September 3rd. 2-night stay at the Park MGM and a $100 gift card. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Hello, Cody.
Hello.
Hello. Are you a Padres fan?
Absolutely.
Are you an Emma Stone fan?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, this should be easy then.
Hey, settle down over there, buddy. Relax.
I think she's become America's highest profile Padres fan. Today on Real or Fake, we'll be testing your Emma Stone knowledge. I'll give you a movie title. You tell me if Emma Stone was a real member of the cast or if it's fake, a movie that did not include Emma Stone.
Sounds easy enough.
Seems easy.
It seems easy. It's probably not.
All right, ready, Cody? Let's play. Round number 1. Super bad. Real or fake? Super bad.
Woodsy, what are we thinking here?
It's 100% real.
Yes. Let's go real.
Her feature film debut in the movie Superbad, and that is 1 point. We are 3 away from qualifying. I like where we're headed. Round number 2, Whiplash. Real or fake? Emma Stone movie.
What was Whiplash?
That was the drumming movie.
Miles Teller, right?
Miles Teller.
Starred. Was she in it, though?
Love that movie. Not my time.
Woodsy, you're my boy on this one.
She is not in Whiplash. That is fake.
Woods is good at this.
Let's
Cody?
Let's go fake on that
You
one.
are absolutely right. All right. Let's see if I can come up with a tougher one. Let's try train wreck. Real or fake? Train wreck.
It's the Amy Schumer comedy. You just want me to play for you?
I was going to say, at some point, you do have to answer a question.
Yeah. No, I'll just play it for him.
You don't have to help him, Woods. That's fully voluntary on your part.
I'll help him. Fake.
Let's I'll say fake on this one.
Yeah.
Woods, you are solid on your Emma Stone knowledge. All right, let's try. I know Woods does not do well on
Woods doesn't get to
superhero
answer the
movies.
next one.
All right, fine.
Venom. Real or fake?
Venom.
Yeah, I know you don't like the superhero movies. Venom.
Let's go real.
It's fake. Once
say
Woods is
also.
out of the picture, this game gets a little tougher. You still only need one, though. Let's try The Help. Real or fake?
The Help. Let's go real.
Yes,
That's
it's real.
We have a winner.
What a great movie, man.
The rest of them, way too easy. Woods, Zombieland.
Real.
Of course. Friends with Benefits.
Fake.
No, that one's real.
What's
Very
who's in that
small
one?
role.
Small role.
Who's
yeah.
in Friends with Benefits?
That's Mila Kunis, Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yeah. Probably
And
why I didn't see
yeah,
it.
Emma
small one.
Stone is Justin Timberlake's girlfriend
Got
at the
it.
beginning of the movie.
Got it.
Cody, congratulations. Hang on the line. Paulie will get your info. We'll put you into the drawing. We now have one. Someone is in the drawing.
Finally.
For the grand prize for the month of May. Congratulations. We will take a time out. When we come back, Eno Sarris will have some smart baseball talk for us. We're approaching the quarter mark of the baseball season here pretty soon. You can start making some generalizations about teams and how they are doing. We'll get to that coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Day off, though, today. If you're looking for something to do on a Thursday, maybe kind of the pre-weekend entertainment, may Woods and I suggest a very short drive down the 5 freeway to 7 Mile Casino, where you can enjoy San Diego's best card room with all sorts of action. If you're just getting into cards, you can play a low-limit Texas Hold'em game, or if you're a high-limit player, go for the big stakes because they've got those tables as well.
Yeah, they got everything you're looking for at 7 Mile Casino. Obviously, the proximity to downtown is great, just 7 minutes away. It's very important to me to be able to get in and out of places, right? Get in, park, go in. It's not a long walk. It's not a big parking garage. You got to get a ticket and park. It is just so easy. And that, to me, goes a long way. It really, really does. Plus the smoke-free environment, plus the lack of slot machines there always makes me happy. It's just a comfortable, cool place to go.
And the food's fantastic at Sammy's at 7 Mile, whether it's the regular menu, the pizzas and the salads and the pastas, or the 24/7 players menu, the Kung Pao chicken, the Asian pork chop, and the weekend brunch. It's all fantastic. Enjoy it right there on the patio overlooking San Diego Bay. It's 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Still have a lot to get to. Haven't gone through John Boy's breakdown of Mike Shildt's ejection yet. We've got the roundtable coming up at 10 o'clock this morning, and Eno Sarris is standing by. First, though, this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store and everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $250 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 6/14. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples. Check traffic, and then we'll bring Eno Sarris into the picture with some smart baseball next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Got a stalled pickup truck in the fast lane, northbound side of the 805, just past Plaza Boulevard. Up ahead, a collision past Sorrento Valley Road. It's over to the right shoulder. Also, CHP can't seem to determine whether it's north or southbound 5 near La Costa, where we've got this crash involving car and a motorcycle. Regardless, just watch out for it in either direction. HOV lane blocked, either north or southbound 5. I'll get back to you on that. Also, westbound 78, accident involving a couple vehicles just past Melrose. It's over the right shoulder. Up ahead before Emerald, an accident blocking the fast lane. San Diego, before you cruise out this Memorial Day, stop by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed, just 15 minutes, and your road trip ready. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, experts you can trust. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's time for the super polished, yet to be named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with Eno Sarris, son of a bitch. Brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from the ballpark, by the bay in Chula Vista. Here's Eno Sarris with Ben & Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we welcome Eno Sarris onto the program on a Thursday. Always good chatting with him. And Woodsy, you said you've got a place you wanted to start with Eno.
Yeah, I want to know why the Sarris family likes to torture themselves. I just saw his tweet because Eno is a runner. He's a runner. And I just saw Eno tweet out, this is unbelievable. Shout out to my mom, who's approaching 60 miles into a 125-mile race. Numbers I can't fathom, and is currently working her way up to Flagstaff from Sedona Valley. Keep it up. Mind you, Ben, she's running.
Yeah, I would be impressed if that was a car, like driving 25 miles.
Oh, mom's on a nice cruising speed of 65, heading out of Sedona up to Flagstaff in a car, or a bicycle would be, I mean, a 125-mile race is staggering on a bike. Your mother is running this race, Eno?
Yeah.
Bro.
She joked that she's the only person in her age group. She's 74. So if she finishes, she wins. Yeah.
Now, I went to the gym twice in a row. I went on Tuesday and yesterday, and I woke up, I was like, oh, God, somebody kill me. I've been bitching about it all morning. That's truly, truly remarkable. Remarkable.
It's like the Cubs in the NL Central. If they finish, they win.
But she's invited me on some of these, and I'm like, no, that doesn't sound that much fun.
It sounds. I mean, this is something obviously she's been doing for a long time. This is nuts.
Not that long, but I mean, she's been hiking forever. She loves hiking, and you know, as a German lady, she's brisk. You know, she keeps a brisk pace when we hike, and so it's, you know, this kind of running is actually somewhere just north of a brisk pace because yes, it's 125 miles, but you do it over the course of like 4 days. And you do it at the pace of, you know, 2 to 3 miles an hour.
I couldn't do it in 4 years.
How far would you get? Like, you start right now. You just run. You just have to go as far as you can.
I could get to
how far do you get?
That chevron at the corner.
It's like 2 blocks.
2 blocks.
Okay.
That's amazing.
I think
man.
I could have maybe done the first day that she did like 30 miles and it was downhill. But I would have then I would have gone to sleep and woken up and been like you, and been like,
forget it. That's incredible.
Anymore. And she got up and was like, okay, 90 more miles.
Oh my God, man. That's truly remarkable. And knowing you're keeping all the stats on everything and you're telling her, hey, you know, you got to increase your rate by this. Your Stuff Plus looks pretty good, but
no.
This
is like attrition. This is a war of attrition.
Yeah.
A little bit like the Central, like you're talking about.
Yeah, like the Central.
Just got to make it.
That's true. Well, the West certainly is different, but I got to tell you, we talked to you a couple weeks ago, but when Ben was playing golf, we talked to you last week. We always ask about Dylan Cease. Man, he looked really, really good last night, man. And again, I think there's nothing to worry about with the little injury at the end. I guess it was just a forearm cramp, but seems like he unlocked something last night, and he looked like a different beast.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was in him. I do fantasy stuff too, and he's been like my number one buy low. And one thing that I did like from him in that game was just a little bit more use of the curve. I think the change is kind of going away, maybe because of command issues or whatever. And I see that sinker peeking out. I think he threw 1 or 2. And I want more sinkers or cutters long term. But right now, he's so dominant with the fastball and slider. You know, I think that, you know, he's like a high velocity Jack Flaherty, you know, you know, fastball, slider, sometimes curve. Or, you know, there's another comp. It's kind of like a righty Blake Snell.
Yes.
So I think that kind of captures some of the.
We've had many a conversation about Blake Snell and how frustrating it can be to watch. And but no, he was electric last night. The top of the zone. I mean, of course, Bellinger hits that pitch out top of the zone or high above the zone, and he had gotten judged to swing and miss at that. And hey, man, sometimes they get you. You tip your hat, but he really was outstanding. You know, and he's a big part of this club, at least for this year, and any chance that the Padres have to compete in the West.
Yeah, and I think that they're you know, it was an up and down trip for them, and they've kind of been, you know, am I right to say they've been around 500 since their a great start?
Yeah, they were 7-0. I think they're 3 games above 500 since then.
Yeah. So I think that's fine. I mean, we all know that there was guys missing and they're coming back, and it was really nice to see Jackson Merrill hit that tater. So, you know, good to see Jackson back. And I think that Yu Darvish actually is fairly important for this team because it's a little bit easier to, you know, maintain the pace that's needed in the West right now. If you kind of go 4 strong in the rotation and are figuring out the 5th spot rather than having to figure out a couple spots.
You know, you had a new piece in The Athletic yesterday, 10 early season MLB numbers that could be cause for alarm. And the Padres don't really figure as at least the feature of any of those numbers, but they did come up in your piece about the Texas Rangers, who are chasing more pitches out of the zone this year, almost 5%. Padres are 3rd on that list. They're chasing more pitches out of the zone this year, which I found a little surprising.
I did
because
too.
They're not a team that seems to be like swinging out of their shoes. They're not hitting for more power. In fact, their home runs are fairly modest so far this season. What does that tell you about a team that is chasing more than they were the year before?
they're a fairly aggressive team, slightly above the mean in terms of how much they swing. So there is a little something going on because they're 28th in zone swing and they're first in outside of zone swing. It's not exactly what you want going on. And, this kind of goes hand in hand with another number that I think without context would be kind of worrisome, which is that they're, 25th in pulling the ball in the air, and they're number 1 in putting the ball on the ground opposite field. But when I put this all together, I think this is just an extreme hitting for contact approach. And if you think about it, if you're hitting for contact, you are, putting balls in play to places that the other team doesn't really expect. And so sometimes I think they're probably taking balls that are outside the zone the other way, hitting those on the ground the other way. And, I don't want to say like, oh, they're doing so well that we don't have to worry about this.
Yeah.
But they are making so much contact that you have to think that some of this is on purpose, and you look at guys like Tatis in particular and you think, man, he really has cut down on his strikeouts. And this approach has seemingly been very good for him because he has that natural power that he can still take one out, But I do want to see Manny and Tatis and Merrill pull the ball in the air and add a power element to this whole thing. I think that's when they really get cooking.
I agree, and it's funny, man, because the numbers really don't lie, but your eyes sometimes deceive you, and you watch this team on a daily basis like we do, and you think to yourself, man, they're not striking out a bunch, they're putting the ball in play, and then to come to find out they're in one of the top 5 teams in chasing, and they're up there with the Rangers, who had just had to hire a new hitting coach, the Nationals, who got some young players
building.
Yeah. You got the Blue Jays, which got some guys that swing and miss a bunch, and then you got the Marlins, and you're like, oh God, we're one of those, and it really is a bit of an eye opener,
Yeah, it's not great, but it's hard to worry too much about it. I don't know, in terms of single players that stand out on this, I would have to say that they're all within the range. Iglesias chases the most out of the regulars. Oscar Gonzalez chases a lot, but how important is that going to be in the long run?
That's a good
when
point.
They're fully healthy, and they're fully healthy. How much time does he get? Brandon Lockridge chases a lot. So basically, you're Yuli Gurriel, Brandon Lockridge, Oscar Gonzalez, and Jose Iglesias chase the most, and they've been playing a little bit more because of other reasons, and you're going to replace them with guys like Merrill and,
Crony.
Other players,
Yep.
or Rise, who don't chase as much, then
Right,
you're
better.
Okay, so this is maybe a short-term
I
situation.
feel better. We talked about this off the air this morning. I like Jose Iglesias. I think he's been a nice pickup, but I when I watch him play, I do wonder myself, how did he hit 300? And how in the world did that guy hit?
Guy hits more numbers than I think I've ever seen in my life.
If the goal of baseball was to swing as hard as you can and to hit it 4 feet in front of home plate, he would be Ty Cobb. It's it's staggering, and I mean middle in, and it's bam right into the ground. It goes 3 feet. I'm like, oh my. How did he hit 300? I like the guy. I really, really do. And he's been a great fill-in. But how in the world did that cat hit 300? I keep waiting for a nice, beautiful Manny Machado.
Defense is good.
Defense is fine.
Vibes are through the roof, but
that gapper into the right center field gap, and I keep waiting, and I'm like, no, that's another 4-footer. He's 2 for 4 with 2 nubs. It's crazy. It's crazy.
The answer is that he doesn't. He's not always like this extreme. Right now, he has a 76% ground ball rate.
Oh my
If
God.
he was qualified, he would be the leader. Christian Yelich, noted ground ball wizard, has a 61 right now. That's a little bit higher than usual. So he's up there with the Bryce Turangs of the world, just putting the ball in play on the ground and trying to run it out. And I think it's also a testament to just how volatile singles are.
Yeah.
Singles are impossible to model and to project. And so most models just kind of leave singles out and they say, oh, look, he makes a lot of contact. We're going to give him a decent average. So supposedly he's supposed to hit 270 going forward.
Before you go, how telling at this point in the season, as you said, it's still early, but we're getting close to the quarter point of the season. Strength of schedule. The Padres are, top, I think 5 or 7. Strength of victory. They're near the top. Cubs are number 1. I mean, they've played a really tough schedule, but so have the Padres. Is that a very positive sign, or should I not make too much of that they're 10 games above 500 and they've really played a lot of winning teams so far?
Yeah, I mean, it says that, the strength of schedule going forward is still going to be tough for them. I think part of that is just you got to play the Dodgers. I think the team that has the hardest strength of schedule the rest of the way is the Rockies, who has to play the Padres, Giants, and Dodgers and Diamondbacks. So, it is just part of the schedule. Even as much as they balance the schedule, you still play your divisional opponents the most. I think this is going to be a really exciting division. I think that there's a possibility 2 wild cards come out of it, which the NL East will have a lot to say in as well, because the Mets and Phillies are pretty good. So I think we're going to look up at the end of the season, and it's going to be the Cubs out of the Central, and there's going to be the Mets, Phillies, Braves, Dodgers, Giants, and Padres, and Diamondbacks. All of those, fighting for 4 spots.
It's going to be a grind, man. It really is. It's going to be a grind. Well, always good information. I immediately panicked when I saw your piece, and then I did remember, yes, we've had replacement level players or below playing in about 4 to 5 slots pretty much every night, doing the best that they can, certainly. And again, for this team, I think for this team to be 10 games over 500 right now, you get some of those regulars back, get them locked in. Maybe things will turn around as far as chasing and things like that go. But I do feel better, and I was reminded of the Lockridges and the Gurriel, who's no longer here. But that stuff comes into play certainly on those chases, and hopefully get everybody back healthy and everything starts clicking for the offense here, because that's been the thing that I think people are most concerned about. Bullpen's been great outside of 2 nights in New York, but starters are starting to round into form too. Yeah, things are okay here.
Yes, things look good. And I want you Darvish back. He's such a good pitcher, and he's
100%.
such a character too.
Going to be throwing in Arizona and up and down against live hitters today, according to Mike Shildt. So we're getting a little bit closer to seeing you Darvish back. Thank you. Take care.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
And Eno mentions, and he's right. I mean, how many times have you seen Fernando go to right field with a ground ball base hit this year? Feels like a lot. Manny's done it a lot. Jackson Merrill, he pulled one yesterday. He also hit a slow ground ball single the other way. He does that a lot, and they get praised when they do it. I mean, every time on the broadcast, whether it's Jesse or Don or Mud, they'll say, what a great piece of hitting. Went the other way with that pitch, went where it was taken, didn't try to do too much with that. But at some point, you do need to try to do a lot with pitches, and you can't just settle for other way singles all year long. You got to pull the ball in the air if you really want to put offensive points on the board, as Mud likes to say.
Sure.
That requires pulling the ball, because that's where you hit it the hardest and get it over the wall.
Yeah, I just keep waiting for that floater to – Manny missed one this week. He missed it in New York, and everyone thought he got mad at the umpire. He wasn't mad at the umpire. He hit himself on the helmet. It was a hanger that normally he just pummels to left field, and he missed it, and he banged himself on the head and ended up striking out, I think. But, those are the pitches that normally you hang one there – I mean,
Manny's numbers are good in terms of he's hitting the ball hard.
Yeah.
He's just not lifting it very much. His top spin liners, which are great, they're just not going out of the yard. I have a very weird Padres stat for you that I want to share here on our final hour. Also go through the John Boy Mike Shildt ejection audio and a Rindle report, all coming up with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I have no idea if there's an explanation for this or if we should be looking deeper at it, Padres fans. But I found this very odd. So there's been a lot said so far this year, how the National League stronger this year than the American League. At least at the top, you got more good teams in the NL than the AL, which is, kind of mediocre and watered down. So I was going back through it. The Padres have now played 11 series this year. Because of the schedule, oddly enough, they've played 6 series against American League teams and only 5 against National League teams. Yep. They've won all 5 series they've played against National League teams, including 3 sweeps. They're dominating National League competition. Against American League teams, they swept their first series against the Cleveland Guardians. And then they won their second series against the Sacramento Athletics. And now they've lost 4 consecutive series against American League teams, including 1 sweep at the hands of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Pretty interesting.
The Padres have been so much better against the National League and so much worse against the American League. And you feel like, well, at some point they're going to have to start playing National League teams. They will, but not anytime soon. After these 3 against the Rockies, 3 more series in a row against American League
3 in
teams.
a row?
3 more in a row against
Angels and Mariners.
Angels, Mariners.
And then 1 more after that against the Toronto Blue Jays.
Good God.
So it's just this constant stream of interleague play that the Padres have now kind of scuffled against these American League teams. Baseball's baseball now. It used to be the leagues were more different. The umpires were different. The strike zones were different. You had to play with the DH or not with the DH. Now there really isn't any difference other than, the stronger teams appear to be in the National League, yet Padres are dominating against the National League. They just don't get to play any games against National League teams.
It's freaking weird, man. Stupid
sport.
It's just dumb, which means
they did lose 1 series against the Cubs at Wrigley. You're right, but they won their other National League, all of their other National League series, including 3 sweeps.
I mean, look, you look at this schedule right now for the rest of this month. It's as you like to say, it's haymaking time. I mean, it really is. Rockies, Angels, Mariners, who are playing better. They're
Mariners are first place team. They're good.
Yeah.
The Vetter Cup is looking solid this year.
It will be solid. Then you got the Blue Jays in Atlanta, Marlins, Pirates again at home. 3 against the Marlins at home, 3 against the Pirates at home. Like it should be, it should be a good May. And then June is where it gets absolutely filthy and nasty. Giants, Brewers, Dodgers, D-backs, Dodgers, Royals, Nationals, Reds. Then you go right into the Phillies after that. So very important, Ben, to kind of stack as many of those wins in May as you can. And luckily for them, they stacked a bunch of April wins as well. So keep doing what you're doing right now. That 10 game, it took us, somebody said yesterday, it took us till like August 6th to be 10 games over 500 last year. And, here we are right now, 10 games over 500 on May 8th. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So the schedule thing is weird.
Yeah, 50 and 50 after 100 last year. And then they built their way up to 10 games above 500 by the time they got to August. Ended up with 93 wins. They are certainly doing some of the heavy lifting early. But you're right. If they don't make some hay over these next 3 to 4 weeks, it's going to be much harder to do so as the season goes along. You'll have all your games against the Dodgers, all your games against the Diamondbacks still to play, all but 2 of your games against the Giants that you still need to play. You can play well against those teams, but you can't expect to dominate those NL West clubs and, gain 8 to 10 games in the standings. You're hoping, a game or 2 above 500 against those teams, you're doing pretty well. So you have to make your hay now against these other teams. And if they can get, 18 games above 500 by the time they get to the tough part in the schedule in June, they only need to play 500 ball the rest of the year to feel comfortable. Hey, 90 plus wins, get to the playoffs. I'd like the Padres to be in that situation by the time the schedule does get tougher in June, because it's been tough and they've done okay. This is the spot now starting tomorrow where the Padres would really like to make a run, and they're also getting healthy as they hit that easier part of the schedule. It lines up well for the team right now,
which can only mean terror abounds. That's really it. As you know, a baseball fan, typically when things are set up well and you look great on paper and blah blah blah, it's such a weird sport. It's such a hard sport. So many variables. But yeah, man, this is if they don't do it, Benny, it's on them. Because it, like you said, it was set up well for them.
I do feel like it's been different under Mike Shildt, and I know they struggled against the Rockies last year, even under Mike Shildt. A lot of that, though, remember, was early in the season when they weren't playing as well, and the Rockies actually were kind of playing well. This is a different situation for the Padres this year, and I like that Mike Shildt is the guy. If there's any manager in baseball who is all about the one game right in front of us mentality, certainly it's Mike Shildt. They're not overlooking the Rockies.
Yeah, for sure.
This weekend.
I hope not.
I mean, there's nothing to over. It's one thing if you've got a series against the Dodgers coming up in a couple of days and you're lining up your pitchers, and sometimes a series or a team gets overlooked. You just gave the schedule for the next couple of weeks. There's nothing to line up for. It's simply line them up, knock them down, the next few weeks. Just get as many wins in the bank as possible starting tomorrow.
No question about it. Can't do it without winning tomorrow. That's the deal. It's just one game at a time.
The other signature of Mike Shildt, of course, is going to bat for his players.
Unequivocally.
Without fail.
Without fail.
Sometimes without entirely reason, but he's going to do it. He is going to defend his players tooth and nail whenever he sees anything that he feels like needs him to step in, he's going to do that. And when we saw the game on Monday at Yankee Stadium, and as fans, we're watching the umpire, we're watching bad calls all game long.
All series long.
It really was a bad series, especially for the home plate umpires, all three of them that rotated through. But in that game in particular, balls that were being called strikes for the Yankees, balls for the Padres, it was frustrating for us as fans. So we all assumed Mike Shildt, understandably, getting frustrated at some of these calls, barking at Adrian Johnson behind the plate, and then comes out when Tatis gets ejected. He says his piece, gets ejected as well. But then John Boy comes out with his breakdown yesterday, and I know there's an entertainment aspect to this, but I think it's also very telling about who Mike Shildt is as a manager and as a person. And Paulie's had to do a lot of editing to make this to make this consumable over the radio. But never once does Mike Shildt say that Adrian Johnson is missing calls.
Right.
That was not his point at all. It was solely focused on the fact that Adrian Johnson had a quick ejection for Fernando Tatis Jr., a player that Mike Shildt says, of course, has never been ejected in his career.
Correct.
And Mike Shildt prides himself on not having players get ejected. If anyone's going to get ejected, it's going to be me, not my players.
Well, and again, it was, and I guess I had missed this too, but the part where he yells over at Shildt, and Shilt's like, well, I didn't say anything. Don't be talking to me and screaming over here at me because I didn't say a word to you. It was brilliant.
Now, remember, not everything may be 100% accurate, but John Boy's
pretty close.
Good with these lip reading. He does his research, and I think it's worthy of playing for the Padres audience and even some sensitive ears. There's going to be some bleeps here, but this is after Fernando Tatis Jr. While he's at the plate, he gets ejected, and then Mike Shildt responds. Here's the John Boy audio.
So he starts yelling about how good his dugout is. He goes, we got the best dugout whole league. And then he's going to say, and I looked up the numbers here. I could faintly hear it, and then I looked up the numbers, so I'm pretty confident. He says, we've been ejected 7 times. That's 7 times for me and my team. You know how many players I've had ejected? 3, 3. Yeah. And it's right. It's Profar, Manny, and now Tatis' 3rd ejection, and he is now getting his 4th ejection in his 2-year run. So that's why he's hot. He's not arguing, was that a pitch, a strike? Was that not a pitch? He's saying, don't eject my player before you give me a chance to get in front of him. He didn't even do anything that I thought to protect him from, and I'm the best protector in the whole damn league. Bumps into the other ump and says, sorry. Hey, sorry, man. Didn't mean to bump into you. Ump's like, okay, cool, thank you. And then he goes back And then we got some smug faces screaming. And this ump's like, well, he was nice to me, so I don't really want to like push him or say anything. And he leaves and he gets out of here.
So that is very telling about who Mike Shildt is as a manager right there.
I was kind of blown away when I saw this because I go, well, obviously, as the skipper, you're hot about that call, which, again, borderline pitch. Some say it lit up the zone. I had it below the zone. The box is pretty, it's pretty unsteady. And I just assumed that the manager's going to be like, you've been calling that garbage all night.
Right.
You keep, open your eyes. You're terrible. His beef was about, hey, bro, we don't get thrown out of games. We don't show umpires up. Tatis is allowed to say something to you. He's allowed to as a grown man
and
professional.
John Boy also had kind of a little more speculative as to what Tatis said, because I don't think there was his...
I hadn't seen that angle that he had.
Yeah, he had a slightly different angle, but he said something. He thought Tatis said something to the effect of, you cost me that at bat.
Yeah, you cost me that at bat.
Which is
a thing.
Doesn't feel like that's an ejectable statement.
It's the walking away. Like, Tatis was done. He wasn't trying to argue. He wasn't trying to get run. When he's got his back turned and he's walking back, and you don't even you barely moved your hand if you're the umpire.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't, hey, you're gone or anything like that. You just a quick little, that's such a weak thing.
It was a very weak ejection. And I do think if you're an umpire and you've been in the league for a while, you know who's a hothead.
Oh, yeah.
And I think reputation should play a big part in it. And if a guy says, hey, man, you cost me that at bat, or you cost me that MFing at bat, or you're a blank, I'm walking away, though. I didn't show you up. I did not stop. I didn't look at you. I didn't stare at you. I didn't get in your face. I didn't rip my helmet off. I'm walking away. You toss me. Man, Shildt was that's the thing that bugged him the most, is getting his guys thrown out of ball games. Because, look, man, had that game gone, further on, and I've just lost my star player because you're sensitive.
That first clip that we played from the John Boy lip reading video was kind of a tame Mike Shildt. I did have to have some fun with Shilty. This was before the ejection when he was chirping from the dugout.
Yeah, this was
and
awesome.
They quickly then cut to the dugout where manager Mike Shildt just ramps it up immediately. Go yourself. Go yourself. I didn't say anything. Turn your head around. Oh, he is heated up. I wasn't even talking or yelling out at your sorry ass. I didn't say to you.
It's my manager.
Man,
that
is something else.
Mike may need to be spending extra time with that Bible in his hotel room in Denver today.
He was Shilty was frothing at the mouth, bro. It was something else. Why? On God's green earth, do we have to wait till next Friday to talk to Mike Shildt after his now second?
But
John Boy
I think we've gotten to know him enough that what makes him mad is not understanding who he is as a person. And he is fundamentally a respectful person.
Dude, yes. And he knows very well. He's been in this game a long time. He knows you can't argue balls and strikes.
Right.
He knows that. Like everybody, he knows that.
And when he thinks you think he's being disrespectful,
that's when he gets
that's
mad.
when he's
that's
going to
when
get
he
mad.
actually gets disrespectful.
Yeah.
Don't think I'm disrespectful, or I will get disrespectful on your ass after that.
You want to see disrespectful? I'll show you.
I'll show you disrespectful. Yeah,
boy.
That's exactly right, man. I thought John Boyd knocked that thing out of the park. I really did. I thought that was so good. I sat there, didn't move, and just was like, oh. And it's so many different angles.
I was at Chinatown. I called some people.
Yeah,
All right, come on, let's go. Let's all watch this together. The Padres fans in the building. Oh, let's see. And yeah, again, he may have a word or two off, but I think he did a pretty good job.
I did too.
And it was very revealing about the true motivations of the skipper of the San Diego Padres.
Yeah.
And genuine. It took me a while to really, really believe it wasn't an act. I covered Marty Schottenheimer, who was, very protective and grandfatherly for his team, and also salty mouth, but it always felt kind of fake. Like, okay, this is the character I'm going to play as coach of the Chargers. I don't think Mike Shildt is playing a character.
No.
He's not playing protective papa. He is. He is fundamentally to his core. That's who he is.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I'm with you too. I felt the same way.
If you're not one of his flock, then you are to be viewed with suspicion. That includes us.
100%.
That includes the media.
100%.
Why has Mike Shildt sometimes been bristly with the media? We're not in his flock. We're not part of that team. It extends to his coaches, his players, probably some other people in the organization. But my guess is that circle, that his flock is pretty tight. And once you get outside of that circle, he views you with suspicion. That's who he is. It's not a bad quality.
No.
He's just very protective of his people.
Yeah, agreed. That was awesome. It was awesome.
Good stuff. All right, we still have the Rondo Report headlines to get to. If you got anything else on last night's game, the series against the New York Yankees, again, this road trip as a whole can still be quite a positive road trip.
It can be a great road trip.
We will talk about that coming up. Get a check of traffic with Kelly Danick. More Bennett Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Treat for me, though. Get another chance to tell you about SDFatLoss.com. Summer is approaching. Some would say it's already here around the corner, but we know in San Diego, real summer is July and August when the weather gets real warm. It's sunny every day. You want to be out at the pool. You're going to the beach. You're wearing your shorts and your T-shirts. You can still, by the time that part of summer gets there, lose 10 to 20% of your body weight, up to a pound of fat per day with the SDFatLoss.com program. It is based on real foods. I ate a ton of steak and chicken, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, vegetables. You can kind of pick the ones you like. There's certain ones that are on the list, others that aren't on the list. Your counselor will explain it all with an easy-to-follow plan that will help you lose the weight fast without any drugs or injections, without buying any extra meals or bars or shakes. And you don't have to exercise either. The program is actually more affordable than a lot of other programs that claim to lose weight fast. This one actually works, and you can get $200 right now off during their spring special here in the month of May. Just go to SDFatLoss.com, schedule your free consultation. Do it today. Do it today. Find out, and if it might work for you like it worked for me, I hope you can join the rest of us in the tier ones who have lost so much weight. With SDFatLoss.com, results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Got some breaking non-sports news out of the Vatican City.
Here in Vatican City.
Here in the Vatican City.
Where white smoke is emerging as we speak from the Sistine Chapel, signaling the College of Cardinals in their conclave have selected a new pope who will soon appear in the balcony, St. Peter's Basilica, and the next pope will begin his tenure as pope. I mean, it's a very old school way of letting the world know something with the color of smoke. You could just send out a tweet at this point.
From at the Vatican.
From at Jeff Passan, breaking news. Who's the Jeff Passan?
Who had it first? Might be Jeff Passan, actually. You know, he's connected everywhere. Yeah, I don't know who the papal insiders are.
The papal insiders. All scrambling. The Bob Nightingale of the papal insiders just misspells the guy's name right out of the chute.
But doesn't even have a name. He's picking his name right now because the popes obviously get to choose their own names going forward.
How does that work again?
So
I don't care much, but please explain to me what.
So one of the cardinals will be elected pope. Now, as a cardinal, their name is what their name was. Cardinal, father, whatever.
Cardinal what? Like Cardinal Johnson.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Could be from any part of the world. So they've, lots of different names from different cultures and heritages. But once they are elected pope, they choose their papal name, like Francis, and they get to pick it. Usually it's a
so
name
if you're
of a
Ben
saint
Higgins,
or
you're running for pope or going for pope, you're trying out whatever it is. Hey, guess what? You're the guy. Now you can be Pope Fred.
And obviously they repeat a lot of the names. So you could be Pius the 14th, or you could be Pope John the 7th, or I don't. You just pick something that is meaningful to you. Pope Francis picked his because he was an advocate for the poor, and St. Francis of Assisi was the patron saint of the poor. So he picked Francis, and he was the first to ever pick that name. So he was Pope Francis the First.
Okay.
So we'll find out what the new Pope's name is, what country they're from, and everything that will define their tenure as Pope.
I wonder if I could bet on this.
I'm sure you could have at some point somewhere.
Yeah.
And they were like favorites going into it.
Saturated fats. Hope he picks Pope Deion Sanders. That's his name.
I don't know if there are restrictions on
Pope Prime.
Hi, this is Pope Deion Sanders coming at you live from the Vatican City. It's fantastic. Pope Watch. Yeah, this is. Somebody says you can bet on this. Interesting. Paulie, is our site have any papal odds? Interesting.
Pontifex. I mean, they got a lot. There's over, what did I say, close to like 2 billion Catholics in the world.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people whose, head religious figure is the Pope.
Yep. Fair enough. But didn't take long, right? Is this a short conclave?
Yeah, I think this is like the third or fourth vote. So
this is good. El Carlos says use promo code Woods. Yes. When you sign up. Prayers of Beloved Replacement. Yeah, PAR. Yep.
Daily Fantasy Popage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations to whoever it may be.
All right, Padres. Padres are in Colorado.
Smooth
It's a day off for the Padres, but they do have their. It looks like their pitching rotation is set for the weekend against the Rockies. It is Randy Vasquez in Game 1, Stephen Kolek in Game 2, and then Nick Pivetta in the final game of the series and the road trip on Sunday afternoon at Coors Field in Denver. The Rockies have no announced starters. ESPN had it listed as Antonio Senzatella tomorrow. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case because they have a doubleheader scheduled today against the Detroit Tigers after a rainout earlier this week. So it may not be known by Bud Black even until after the game what his pitching rotation. They may need to call up some people after the game because assuming they're going to need most of their bullpen today, could change the look of their pitching staff going into the series tomorrow.
I mean, really, it's like you said earlier, talking about being set up. Yeah, coming straight out of a doubleheader, which, you know what, man, back in the old days, the doubleheader was a really common thing. These days, it's fairly rare, and they got to play one today. And then they got the Padres coming to town after that. It is set up. Can't let your foot off the gas, though. You have to absolutely take it to a team that has won. How many games? 6?
6-29.
That is staggeringly bad. And yeah, man, there is no room for error. You just got to go out and dominate this team this weekend.
I mean, you're probably not going to go 13-0 against them over the course of the season.
At this point, though, why not? Honestly, like if you really sit back and think about it, why not? I do realize baseball is tricky, and man, the sun can shine on a dog's butt one day. I totally get that. They are one of the worst teams of all time.
Right, so who have they beaten? Let's see. They in their opening series, they had a 2-1 win over the Rays in their second game of the season.
We got swept by the Rays.
Yep. And then a week later, they beat the Athletics 12-5 to avoid a sweep. And then another week and a half later, they beat the Washington Nationals 3-1 to avoid a sweep. And then another week and a half later, they actually won their last 2 games in a row. Beat Atlanta 2-1 to avoid a sweep, and beat the San Francisco Giants 4-3.
Seemingly they're good
in the opener to a 4-game series, but have not won a game since.
So if we win Friday and Saturday, Sunday's looking good for the Rockies because they're winning that game to avoid the sweep. It looks like.
Oh, they have been swept 4 times. 3, 4, 5. They've been swept 5 times already,
and avoided a sweep like 4 times.
About three times, yeah. So yeah, they haven't won any series at all, though. They have at most they have taken 1 game in any series so far this season and have been swept in every other series.
Don't be the first.
Yeah, you don't want to be the first that drops the series. I mean,
really
last year the White Sox were the worst team in baseball history. They did win a couple of series over the course of the year, so it is going to happen at some point. Yeah, you don't want to be the first, though. Don't get them healthy at this point.
No, especially coming off of a doubleheader today against the Tigers.
5:40 first pitch tomorrow, 5:10 on Saturday, and then a 12:10 start our time on Sunday to wrap up the series. And then the Padres will be back home to start their next homestand next week against the Angels on Monday. So no off day when they get back home. They'll just start that series right away. All 6:40 starts against the Angels. And that third game of the series, that Wednesday night game, is the reversible bucket hat game. And we've got tickets to give away right now for that game. 2 tickets for the reversible bucket hat game. You can go to Padres.com/tickets to get your own seats, but you can win them right now. Let's take the fourth caller at 833-288-0973. Fourth caller at 833-288-0973. Going to win 2 tickets to Padres Angels next Wednesday. Again, first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a free reversible retro bucket hat from your San Diego Padres.
Let's do it.
All right, we will take a timeout when we come back. Paulie has our final Run the Report headlines of the day, and then we'll get to the roundtable at 10 o'clock with Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 0000466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
First, Woods and I are going to tell you a little bit more about 7 Mile Casino. I don't know what else there's really left to be said. If we haven't convinced you at this point that it's a great card room, I'm not sure what else we can say.
Well, at this point, you're just being stubborn if you don't go to 7 Mile Casino. Yeah, it's been 7 years of us telling you about 7 Mile Casino. Longtime partner of the Ben and Woods program.
Honestly, I was in Las Vegas last week, and I did go to one of the big casinos, one of the nicest card rooms, and I still would prefer 7 Mile Casino in terms of comfort, smoke-free,
not close,
great dealers, windows. You don't get any of that even in a Las Vegas, a mega resort casino, and you get it at 7 Mile Casino.
I appreciate about 7 Mile Casino that I don't have to walk 700 miles every single time I want. Yeah.
Parking garage, massive walk.
Terrible. It's terrible. So 7 Mile Casino, you just pop in, it's right off the 5 in Chula Vista, Bay Boulevard. Pop in, go in, sit down, have some lunch, play some California-style blackjack, high limit if you like. Have a great time.
Yeah. On weekends, you can enjoy the Sunday brunch, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's award-winning, best in the South Bay. Check it out today at 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
See that Robert Suarez got up to 101 miles per hour last night for the second time this season. Has done it 40 times in his career. Yeah, he hits 100 fairly regularly, but 101 is that just a little extra.
A little extra.
Did you see Aroldis Chapman, though? How old is he?
I mean, 37? I mean, what? Hold on.
He is 37 years
37?
old. 37? Hit 103.8 miles per hour on a pitch yesterday.
I'm still fascinated as to what the human body can actually accomplish. They said, Tom House said this. I think I discussed this with Eno a little bit when you were out. Tom House said they've done all kinds, pitching guru Tom House says 118 miles an hour. It's the max the human. 118. When? How long? 4 years? 6 years? Some absolute super freak comes out and throws 118 miles an hour.
He's going to be throwing 99 in high school.
You're going to have to move the mound back 4 feet.
Yeah, there's not going to be any way reaction time can time that.
No, your MVP is going to hit 214 with 6 home runs and 38 RBI. It is 103.8. Round that up to 104 miles an hour, Benny, is staggering gas. Staggering.
All right, Paulie's got some headlines for us. Reindl Report coming up after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive through oil change. Well, that 805 freeway seems to be up to no good as we wrap up our morning drive. Got this collision on the Claremont Mesa Boulevard on-ramp to southbound 805. Looks like a vehicle wound up in a ditch. Now, let's break this down. Northbound side, we've got several problems. One of them is this collision right past the 52. It's blocking the second lane from the left. Then another crash just up ahead before Governor. Those vehicles are over to the right shoulder. Then we got this accident up ahead right before the 5 merge. A couple cars involved in this one. They're in the center of 5. North 5 coastline, still clear of this accident right before La Costa. Car and motorcycle involved. Got the HOV lane blocked. San Diego, before you cruise out this Memorial Day, stop by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed, just 15 minutes and you're road trip ready. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Experts you can trust. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul. All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right. All right. Happy Thursday, gentlemen. Yeah. How we doing?
Fantastic.
I have not followed much of the national sports shows at all this week. No PTI, no First Take, no Undisputed for me so far. But I imagine over the last 24 hours, they've been talking a lot of Dallas Cowboys football.
Sure, why not?
We have not. But there was a trade in the NFL this week. The Cowboys have acquired wide receiver George Pickens from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
Not Pirates.
Not Pirates.
No. Steelers. That's a good pickup.
I saw somebody tweet yesterday. Oh, come on, Jerry. You got to know don't take any receiver that Mike Tomlin doesn't want. And
Mike Tomlin reportedly was the guy who wanted to make this trade. Now, they acquired DK Metcalf already this offseason, correct? So the Steelers.
Yeah.
So they already had a number one option. Pickens is good. He was one of my best fantasy performers last year, but he's also difficult, I think.
Is he?
I think he can be difficult.
Well, listen.
Is he going to be okay being second fiddle
That's
to CeeDee Lamb?
the question, because he's not going to get as many touches, but that it will be a dangerous 1-2 combination for Dak to throw to next year. Look at us talking Cowboys.
Like on paper, looks good.
Yeah.
I agree, Maggie. Here's
listen here,
here's what I say, Colin. Where Colin was wrong. Yeah, we'll see. It's the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think this pushes them over the top.
No, they've. You feel like it's one of they have not. You feel like they haven't made a wise move in 30 years. Really,
Right.
I mean, certainly not a Super Bowl.
Maybe this
move.
is the one.
Maybe this is the one.
I mean, the wise moves tend to be the ones that build your offensive line to protect your quarterback. They're not as flashy and sexy as a move like this.
Jerry, that's not fun for Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
No,
they were 7-10 last year. The move to put you over the top, you have to be closer to the top to go over the top.
We got breaking news in baseball. Paulie, did you see this?
No. What happened?
Beatrice in the chat just tweeted or just put this in the chat, and I'm going to double check right now. Yep. The Pittsburgh Pirates have just released a statement. Derek Shelton has been relieved of his duties as Pirates manager. Pirates bench coach. Pirates bench coach is hard to say. Pirates bench coach Don Kelly has been named manager.
Huh.
So he is out.
Like Bud Black, I don't think it's the manager's fault that the Pirates are not good.
Agree.
But
Scapegoat.
That's what happens.
Time for a new voice.
I mean, it does at least look like you're doing something.
It does.
Which the Rockies can be accused of not doing anything.
It's a scary position to be in if you're the manager given a really bad team. You're the first guy to go. Maybe the hitting coach goes first, but after that, you're done. You're done for. So Derek Shelton is out.
Quite the week it's been for the Pittsburgh Pirates. You had a fan fall off the railing. You got swept
Do you have
twice.
an update on him, by the way? He, I guess, told some reporters or a news outlet yesterday that he's talking. He's okay.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be okay.
He
But he
broke
said
his
everything
neck.
hurts. He says it feels like everything is broken.
He broke his neck. He broke his back.
Oh,
man.
spinal.
Yeah,
Ouch.
spinal. So Shelton.
And then the usher
He beat the crap out of the fan.
out of one of the fans.
They had
Probably Derek Shelton's fault.
They covered up the Roberto Clemente. They got
That's
rid
right.
of the Roberto
Also Derek
Clemente.
Shelton's fault.
There was another thing they did.
Paul Skeens lost again.
Paul Skeens lost to the Cardinals again. Wow.
Hmm.
Bubba Chandler is waiting in the minors right now. Michael makes a good point. He is nasty. I mean, if Jared Jones was healthy and Bubba Chandler was coming up and Paul Skeens is Paul Skeens, holy smokes, man. Yeah, Dub J with a good point here. It always intrigues me that they always replace the manager with someone else internal, right? Is that just the easy fix? Did they make several phone calls and call the Skip Schumachers of the world and say, hey, are you interested in this? And it's hard to come in the middle of a season and, inject a new culture and all that really needs to be done in spring training.
Yeah.
So it's a tough position for an organization to be in, I think, to have to put the next guy in charge of.
It's interesting. According to the Pirates statement, Don Kelly wasn't named interim manager. He was named manager.
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 Not interim.
That doesn't say interim in their statement.
You're the manager now.
He's now the manager.
Oh,
So
everybody in the chat's letting us know they destroyed all the bricks, the fan bricks.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's right.
That was also the Pittsburgh Pirates.
God, dude.
Also Derek Shelton's fault.
PR nightmare.
Sometimes, like when the Padres fired Bud Black, Dave Roberts became the manager for a day.
One day.
And then Pat Murphy was brought in from outside in the minor leagues or something. And then he became the interim manager the rest of the year. But it looks like this isn't like the prelude to a search. They've got their guy.
And it's Don
Kelly. Don Kelly.
Was Don Kelly behind the scenes in the ear of the owners, Bob Nutting? Was he in Nutting's ear?
My guess is that even if he's the manager, if it's a really bad next 5 months, they may make another change at the end of the season.
Interesting.
We'll switch gears here. Funny story out of the world of basketball. We talked about it briefly earlier this morning. Pretty good game, pretty good series developing in the Eastern Conference with the Knicks and the Celtics. Now, the Knicks went on the road and stole 2 games from the Boston Celtics, and both with pretty miraculous late pushes from the Knicks. I think I read they ended the game yesterday on a 23-6 run to win by 1 point. So, I mean,
Good
Boston
Lord,
has choked.
man. They're choking.
And they choked in game 1. And so prior to yesterday's game, Celtics legend Paul Pierce had some thoughts. Now, Paul Pierce was not in Boston. He was in Los Angeles because that's where he lives now, and he works for Fox Sports. And he was on this, I think it was Speak for Yourself, one of their shows. This is what he had to say when they brought up the idea that maybe the Knicks could even possibly be in game 2.
How confident are you?
The Celtics
tonight.
If the Celtics lose game 2 at home, I promise you, Joe, I'm walking here tomorrow. I'm walking here.
Why you gotta do that?
Wait a minute. I'm walking here 15 miles. I'm walking here.
I don't know. This is your friend.
In my robe.
Get your friend.
No shoes on.
Oh,
somebody's saving. Bare feet.
No.
What?
Seems
If the
unnecessary.
Celtics lose tonight. Oh my God. Oh, don't do it, Paul. I'm walking.
Paul.
I'm telling you right now. In a robe, barefoot.
So you getting up at 5 in the morning?
I'm be up at 3.
At 3 in the morning. Last night, Paul Pierce posted on social media a picture of the walking map from his home. Looks like maybe like Calabasas area to the Fox Sports studios with the puking emoji. Says 8 hours estimated for the 15 plus mile walk.
Oof.
Because the Celtics did lose. And I even saw this morning, I actually saw a video of Paul Pierce. He went live on Instagram, and he was in a robe.
That's not a flat walk either. You're going over those hills there where the Getty Museum is and everything. That's not an easy walk.
He is a man of his
Is
word.
he
You
really
can see the
barefoot though?
sunrise.
You can really mess up your feet by doing that.
He's in a bathrobe. I don't
He's
know
in
if
a
he's also
bathrobe.
barefoot.
I would give him a pass on the shoes. I would say, all right,
Yeah.
bro, if you want to do this.
If you're really going to do this,
If you're really going to do it,
do
put
it
some
right.
shoes on.
Don't damage yourself. Don't hurt.
It's a beautiful morning though.
It is a beautiful morning.
Yeah, really is nice.
Nothing like an 8-hour walk to get your day started. Holy crap.
I wonder how
dude.
many more bets he makes.
Somebody's picking him up and bringing him to the studio. He does his Instagram video and then he catches a lift.
Yeah,
I follow a couple of Knicks fans on Twitter. They're as surprised as anyone. They thought they'd get bodied these first 2 games by
Yeah.
the Celtics. So I don't know. Can they hold on and win the series?
A lot of underdog upsets brewing right now in the NBA.
Yep.
And then finally, little news you can use. Be nice to your coworkers, guys. Be careful because you could.
Ben, we're about to see them all.
You could get in a lot of trouble. There is a story. Now, this actually happened a couple of years ago, but you know how courts and settlements go. It takes sometimes years before things are finalized. But back in 2021, there is a woman in London named Lorna who worked at a blood donation center, and she was a supervisor, and a bunch of people on her team were a little bored, and they took an online personality test.
You've done that?
It was we haven't done this one. This was a Myers-Briggs test that it was something you would see on like BuzzFeed or somewhere on the internet. It had a Star Wars theme, like which Star Wars character are you? And so Lorna was on the phone, and she actually did not take the test herself.
Okay.
She was busy working. And so one of her coworkers answered all of the questions for her as if they were her. And the website, the personality test decided that Lorna had a Darth Vader-like personality.
Okay.
And the website even spun it in a good way. It said that being a Darth Vader means that you're a very focused individual who could bring teams together. And Lorna said that this made her feel unpopular at work, and in a negative way, because everybody was addressing her like if she was Darth Vader. And she quit less than a month later and filed a lawsuit.
Yep.
And a judge has heard the case and now has ruled
In her
4
favor.
years later in her favor.
You're kidding.
And she has been awarded $40,000.
I'm about to get sued by Ben.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, what Star Wars character would your personality most match with?
I don't know, but I could see her quitting if it was like, hey, you're Jabba the Hutt, right? That's the one that would get me. I'd be like, you sons of bitches. How dare you?
Yeah.
I'm not Jabba the Hutt.
I am clearly, and
oh God. Oh boy, strap in, everybody.
I'm clearly.
Strap
I
in.
don't think this is even much of a debate.
Strap in.
Does anyone know? Can anyone guess in the chat quickly? Because I don't.
Who you think you are?
Who you think you are?
Which Star Wars character is me? I don't think there's a doubt.
Han Solo?
No.
Luke Skywalker?
Oh God, no.
Boba Fett?
Please.
Chewbacca.
C-3PO.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Ben 3PO.
Ben 3PO.
Yeah.
No question. No question.
I don't think there's even a doubt in
I didn't even think
anybody's
about that
mind.
droid until you brought him up, dude.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I malfunction
good call.
occasionally.
Yeah.
I'm very short, very polite and proper.
Yeah.
I am most certainly C-3PO.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, because you will short out. Like tomorrow's Friday. There's no game tonight. Expect several software malfunctions inside of him
I gotta
tomorrow.
make sure Ben 3PO is plugged in, charged, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I? Who are you, Paulie? I don't know. I don't know either. I have no idea. I'm a little mixture of a few, I think. A little Princess Leia in me for sure. Definitely have some Han Solo in me.
Yeah, you
I
get
got
the
a little,
rakish quality of Han.
Yeah, the little
disdain for authority.
Yes,
yeah.
little Luke Skywalker, maybe not. Paulie's a little more Luke.
He's
in
a little
him.
more nerdy than you are. I
didn't
think.
mean it like that.
Luke is.
Paulie's R2D2 with the sound effects. That's pretty
Oh,
good.
that's not bad either.
Pretty good.
I'll take that.
He's he's the cooler of the two.
The cooler of the
droids.
two droids. I just don't want to be. I don't want to be Jabba the Hutt. That's the only one I don't want to be.
I mean, obviously, physically he's gross, but he's also just disgusting in many ways.
In so many ways.
all the weight?
Yeah. You're kind of Lando Calrissian. a
Lando,
little bit.
I'd love Lando.
Both responsible but irresponsible at the same time.
Paul is
Yeah.
our Yoda. Your wife says. I agree. He's a little Yoda in him. He is the wise sage. You're all droids. Ben 3PO, Paulie, R2, and Woods is
BB-8.
Who's
You
BB-8?
haven't seen the prequel sequels.
I don't know what any of
I
this
haven't
means.
seen it. I haven't seen it. Boy,
Should we make Ben take this personality test overnight? That's your
I
homework
just
assignment?
don't. If it doesn't come up with C-3PO,
I'm gonna be disappointed.
Then the personality test has
wrong.
failed.
Yep,
not me.
I agree.
All right, that's it for this program, but not it for us. We're all moving over to the sound space for the roundtable to talk more Padres baseball, commercial free for the next hour, and then we'll be back Friday morning tomorrow at 6 a.m. for more Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.